Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Fantasy. Invincible. Start from the Prodigal. Chapter 1. Schwantian Continent, Star Soul Sect. Yi Feng stared blankly at the crowd of strange clothes around, and the whole person was stupid. Who I am? Where am I? Am I not playing games at home all night? Boom. At this moment, an unfamiliar memory emerged from his mind, and Yi Feng's face also showed a hint of pain. After a while, there was a wry smile on Yi Feng's face, because he realized that he had crossed over, and he had also crossed into a fantasy world where martial arts were the most respected. Star Soul Sect, a new sect created here half a month ago. The strength of the sect leader is unknown. Today is the first day the Star Soul Sect recruited its disciples. Even a newly created sect still attracts hundreds of boys and girls, and everyone wants to embark on the path of cultivation here. Thinking of this, Yi Feng did not hesitate at all, turned around and prepared to leave. If you don't even have a gold finger, you must find a place for 2 years to see if the gold finger will appear. Boom. However, at this moment, a terrifying aura suddenly descended. Let alone walking, under this terrifying pressure, even shaking your fingers was a luxury. Looking up, a long-haired woman in a white dress and a white-haired old man wearing a black Taoist robe stepped out of the air from above, and appeared in front of everyone in an instant. I, Luo Chenshui, is the sect leader of the Star Soul Sect. To recruit sect disciples today, regardless of qualifications, age, or cultivation base. Hearing this, the eyes of the people below gleamed. Isn't that what they are most worried about? If these factors are not considered, no matter how strict the entry requirements are, they feel that there is a great chance that they can join sect. Not to mention, sect leader is still a peerless beauty. Lang Yan and noble, do not provoke ordinary dust. Yi Feng looked at the snow-like Luo Chenshui above, and couldn't help but sigh. As expected of another world, this woman is many times stronger than the top stars of the previous life. Whether it is her appearance or temperament, it is simply a dimensional blow. If you want to enter my Star Soul Sect, there is only one requirement: hand in 10,000 low-quality spirit stones. You only have 1 hour. As long as you can hand in 10,000 low-quality spirit stones to sect, you can join my Star Soul Sect. Luo Chenshui looked at the hundreds of boys and girls below, and directly stated the only requirement for joining the sect. What? I heard it right. Hand in 10,000 low-quality spirit stones. What a joke. 1 low-quality spirit stones is enough for my family to eat and drink for a month. I want 10,000 low-quality spirit stones, and I will come here to try my luck. I have already found a random sect to test talent and test spiritual roots. Let's go. This Star Soul Sect is a liar sect. What's the use of the sect leader being pretty, and I don't have 10,000 low-quality spirit stones? As Luo Chinzu's voice fell, hundreds of young boys and girls below, many of whom showed anger, feeling that they had been tricked, but they were only grumbling and complaining, and they didn't dare to ask questions. After all, in the eyes of cultivators, the lives of ordinary people like them are like a mustard. If one is bad, their lives may stay here. What is the requirement to enter the sect? Another world boss is also a black-hearted businessman. Yi Feng was also surprised by this requirement to join the sect, and he couldn't help thinking, if it was the previous life, wouldn't it be a job in a factory, and he had not earned a penny, so he had to pay 10,000 yuan first. Who would do this? What a fool can do. Ding. The Invincible Prodigal system is activated. Just as Yi Feng was about to leave with the crowd, a cold voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Still thinking about go 2 years, the gold finger will be credited so soon. However, what the hell is the Invincible Prodigal system? Yi Feng paused and asked directly in his heart, System, if you are here, tell me about your situation. Ding. Host, even if you hang up, the system will always exist. Forehead. Hearing this, Yi Feng's face was instantly covered with black lines, and he felt that the emotional intelligence of this system needed to be improved. Ding. Host, as the name suggests, as long as you keep losing, you can continue to become stronger in the current world. You only need to lose, and leave the rest to the system. Name, Yi Feng. Age, 18. Realm, mortals. Physique, mortal. Martial skill, none. Supernatural powers, none. Items, none. Loser points, 0. Today's Prodigal product. First rank 9th order Tianlei talisman * 10,000. At this time, a light screen suddenly appeared in front of Yifeng's eyes, which clearly revealed his current situation. Ding! The system will provide unlimited amounts of spirit stones, spirit crystals, immortal spirit crystals, and other currencies in circulation in the current world. Please control the meaning of the prodigal family. In any matter, if there is less, it is not a prodigal. Only the right prodigal spirit stones, spirit crystals, etc. will get prodigal points, otherwise, a certain prodigal point will be deducted. Ding! Complete the random tasks released by the system, and you can also get some prodigal points. Ding! If you lose all the prodigal products every day, you will also get prodigal points. If you don't lose all, the corresponding prodigal points will be deducted. Ding! Prodigal points can be used to improve the host's realm, martial skill proficiency, extract magical powers, special items, and more. Hearing the system's prompts one after another, Yifeng also pondered. He realized that although this system is powerful, it is not simple. Especially the first reminder. Yifeng couldn't help thinking of a famous saying in his last life, "I am rich, but I am not stupid." Ding! Post a mission, join the Star Soul sect. If the mission is successful, you will be rewarded with 100 prodigal points. If the mission fails, you will be deducted 100 prodigal points. You can refuse. Forehead. The task suddenly released by the system interrupted Yifeng's contemplation, but he just wanted to ask, is this task so optional? High in the sky, the white-haired old man looked at Luo Chenshui with a wry smile and said, "Miss, these children are all children from poor families in nearby towns and villages, not to mention 10,000 low-quality spirit stones, even one is not necessarily the same. If you can take it out, it is impossible to receive sect disciples. Old Bai, I only want to cultivate, but my father insists that I go out to practice, but also to create a sect. The reputation is to make me hone my mind, but I hate these trivial things the most. Let's not talk about developing sect. Even guiding disciples will affect my cultivation. In short, it's not my fault that no one joins sect. Even if my father knows, he can't say anything about me." After speaking, Luo Chinzu's icy face finally revealed a smile, but a murderous intent flashed in her eyes. Taishu Sword Sect, Peng Lai Immortal Island, Tian Martial Ancestor, you all wait for me. When my transcends tribulation returns to the upper realm, I must tell Master about your besieging and killing me. I will not destroy you, I am Luo Qian. Shui swears not to be human. No one knows that Luo Chenshui is not only the jewel in the palm of Luo Wuming, the sect leader of the Xuantian continent, but also the holy maiden from the sacred land of the upper realm. Old Bai, let's go. It's impossible for anyone to come up with 10,000 low-quality spirit stones, and even if they do, it's impossible to hand them over to join the Star Soul sect I just founded. After speaking, Luo Chenshui turned around and prepared to leave. Sect leader, sect has just been established, and funds are definitely in short supply. The disciple is willing to hand in 100,000 low-quality spirit stones. Question mark. Luo Chenshui and Bai Lao, who were about to leave, heard the sound from below, their eyes widened and they turned to look. Neither of them could believe that someone was willing to hand it in, and it turned over 10 times. At this time, the crowd gathered below had already dispersed, leaving only Yifeng alone. You said, are you willing to hand in 100,000 low-quality spirit stones? Luo Chenshui slowly fell from the sky, looking at Yifeng who was dressed simply. She didn't believe that the other party could come up with 100,000 low-quality spirit stones. Brush. An interspatial ring appeared in Yifeng's hand. He didn't answer, but directly handed the interspatial ring in his hand. Divine sense is not bound. Luo Chenshui quickly checked the interspatial ring, and there was indeed a mountain of low-quality spirit stones, the number of which was just 100,000. Crazy. Luo Chenshui was really going crazy at this time. She never thought that such a big deal would be sent to her door, but she didn't want to recruit disciples at all. Are you sure you want to join sect? Our sect doesn't even have a place to live right now. How could Luo Chenshui really let Yifeng join sect, but she had no choice but to persuade. Don't panic, sect leader, disciples can spend money to hire people in nearby towns to build our sect. Yifeng said directly with a proud look of wealth and wealth. Panic. I panic your sister, panic, you join sect I panic. Luo Chenshui took a deep breath, calmed down and continued to persuade. we sect are poor and white. If you join sect and have no cultivation resources at all, then you are wrong. Don't panic, sect leader, any cultivation resources are lacking. As long as you can buy them, the disciples will buy them for you. Yi Feng continued to answer with a dull expression, but his heart was puzzled. He always felt that the sect leader who was as beautiful as celestial immortals in front of him didn't seem to want him to join the sect. But it shouldn't be. I don't want him to join sect. Why are you recruiting disciples here? Hey, where is this lunatic coming from? I use you to buy cultivation resources. You can't hear me and just don't want you to join the sect. When Luo Chenxue heard Yi Feng's answer, she felt that there were 10,000 divine beasts passing by, and her whole body was about to collapse. Let me tell you first, even if you join sect, I will not guide you on the path of cultivation, nor will I give you sect cultivation technique or martial skill. Everything can only depend on you. Call. After speaking, Luo Chenxue was relieved. She had already said that. She didn't think the other party would be persistent and want to join sect. Don't panic, sect leader. Disciples don't need sect leader guidance, nor sect cultivation technique or martial skill. Yi Feng was also a little excited at this time. He only needs to lose his family to become stronger, but being guided makes him uncomfortable. Moreover, he joined the Star Soul sect just to complete the task. No one cares about him, so he can be at ease. Where can I find such a good sect? To be honest, Yi Feng was worried that he had promised sect so many benefits before, and whether sect would attach great importance to him, that would be a trouble for him. Panic. I'm panicking your sister, can you stop panicking me? Looking at Yi Feng who was excited at this time, Luo Chenxue went completely crazy. She spent 100,000 low-quality spirit stones to join sect, and she didn't care about anything. Are you still happy? Are you sure it wasn't sent by God to torture me? If it weren't for the presence of Bai Lao, Luo Chenxue would have been unable to resist and slap Yi Feng away. She doesn't want disciples, she just wants to cultivate quietly. Sect leader, you can't go on too far. Since this son is willing to join sect and has also met the requirements for joining the sect, you can no longer refuse. At this time, Bai Lao, who was on the side, finally couldn't stand it anymore. For everyone's sake, you still want to drive the other party away. Even if he wants to turn a blind eye, he can't continue to be silent at this time. Call. Hearing Bai Lao's words, Luo Chenxue took a deep breath, looked at Yi Feng who was excited and said, okay, from now on, you will be a disciple of my Star Soul sect. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the task and rewarding 100 Prodigal points. Ding. Congratulations to the host who lost 100,000 low-quality spirit stones. The number of losers in this event is reasonable, and the reward is 100 losers. As Luo Qinzu's voice fell, the system's prompt sound also sounded in Yi Feng's mind one after another. Come here, Daddy's Prodigal point is coming with arrogant steps. Yi Feng was also excited at this time, and suddenly had 200 Prodigal points, although it was not clear what the Prodigal points were used for, such as how many Prodigal points could increase a small realm, how many Prodigal points could be used to extract magical powers, and so on. But at least it's not a pauper anymore. System, are there any Prodigal tasks? How can I lose my family when I don't have the task of losing my family? After being excited, Yi Feng hurriedly asked the system. Ding. Prodigal behavior asks the host to explore on his own. Ding. Reminder, the amount of spirit stones, spirit crystals, etc. that the prodigal consumes is not related to the prodigal point. As long as it is prodigal behavior, you can get a certain prodigal point. Hearing the system's answer, Yi Feng thought for a while, then looked directly at Luo Chenxue and asked, Sect leader, I should be the only disciple of sect right now, so is it your direct disciple? It doesn't count. This sect does not accept direct disciples. Luo Chenxue is angry when she sees Yi Feng now, because she has made an agreement with his father. Even if she said that before, she must be responsible for Yi Feng's practice in the future. But now the other party still wants to become her direct disciple, that is absolutely impossible. Sect leader, you say the number, if the disciple has money, he will never bargain. Question mark question mark question mark. This time, even old Bai, who was on the side, looked at Yi Feng with a strange look. Did the direct disciple even buy it with money? Interesting. Luo Chenxue looked at Yi Feng with a serious face at this time, but smiled and said directly, "Okay, 100,000 top-grade spirit stones, as long as you can get it, this sect will make an exception to accept you as a direct disciple." Stupid. What about that confidence just now? 100,000 high-grade spirit crystals, even a third-rate sect may not be able to get it, can you get it as a mortal? Looking at Yifeng, who was sluggish in the same place, Luo Chenshui finally showed a smile of a winner, and was pinched by Yifeng one after another, and now she finally pinched the opponent once. So cheap. Sect leader, here are 500,000 top-grade spirit stones, and the remaining 400,000 are considered as the apprenticeship ceremony for the master. Yifeng took out an interspatial ring again at this time. Ding! Congratulations to the host for the success of the prodigal. The number of prodigals is reasonable, and the reward is 200 prodigal points. Look, this prodigal point is coming again. Yifeng felt that he was born for a prodigal family. Anyway, he joined sect. Is he still missing the identity of a direct disciple? Such an excellent opportunity to lose a family must be grasped. Released divine sense, when Luo Chenshui checked the 500,000 top-grade spirit stones in the interspatial ring, the corners of her mouth couldn't help twitching, looking at Yifeng like a monster. These are 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. As long as you are not afraid of being murdered for money, take these 100,000 top-grade spirit stones to any third-rate sect, and the sect leader will treat you like an ancestor. The sect's words are counted. From now on, you are the direct disciple of the sect. You take this Xuanqing sword, it is a gift to you from the teacher. Although Luo Chenshui has collapsed, she is the holy maiden of the sacred land of the upper realm. She has received a direct disciple, and she still needs the disciple to give her the apprenticeship ceremony. If this is spread in the future, she will have no face to meet. The boat was done, and Luo Chenshui couldn't slap her own face, but there was a direct disciple so inexplicably. Luo Chenshui said that she was bitter in her heart, but she didn't say it. If Yifeng knew what the other party was thinking, he would definitely be extremely speechless. He took away 500,000 top-grade spirit stones inexplicably without seeing you return it. Ding! The host accepts the Xuanqing sword and deducts 20 points of prostitution. Ding! Reminder, the host is an invincible prodigal god. How can you take other people's things and return them within 1 hour, and you can restore the deduction of prodigal points? Just as Yifeng was watching the Zhanqing sword in his hand, the system's voice suddenly rang. Luo Chenshui was stunned when she looked at the Xuanqing sword that was stuffed back by Yifeng. What's the situation? This Xuanqing sword is a 7th grade and 7th order spiritual weapon, and it must be a treasure of Junzong if it is placed in a third-rate sect. Did you return it to me? Master, you won't be rewarded without merit. This Xuanqing disciple can't ask for it. If you insist on giving it to the disciple, then set a price. Yifeng looked at Luo Chenshui and said righteously. How much money are stupid people? Do not. Yifeng just keeps everything within the scope of the prodigal. As long as he can get prodigal points, he will not pay attention to what others think of him. As long as the system does not judge people with stupid money, then all his actions are just pure prodigal behavior. Offer, offer, offer. Do you really think that money can buy everything? This is a piece of the teacher's mind. If you don't want it, then let it go. With that said, Luo Chenshui angrily put away her Xuanqing sword and flew upwards, leaving Yifeng and Bai Lao on the spot. Old Bai, is there something wrong with Shizen's brain, not earning money? Looking at Luo Chenshui who left in anger, Yifeng also looked at the old Bai who was speechless and complained. Ha ha. However, when Bai Lao heard this, he couldn't help laughing, and looked at Yifeng with curiosity. How can a mortal have such huge financial resources? Although he was puzzled, Bai Lao saw that his Mrs. mentality was changing continuously for a while, but he was extremely happy. If his mentality remained unresponsive, his state of mind would be like a pool of stagnant water. How to temper it? Let's go, the old man will take you back to sect. As he said that, a flying sword appeared at the feet of Bai Lao, took Yifeng directly into the sky, and quickly flew towards the top of the peak. Name, Yifeng. Age, 18. Realm, mortals. Physique, mortal. Martial skill, none. Supernatural powers, none. Items, none. Loser point, 400 points. Today's prodigal product. First rank 9th order Tianlei talisman *10,000. System, isn't this world about spiritual roots, talent, divine body, etc.? How can I use the prodigal point to draw, and how can I consume the prodigal point to improve my strength? Standing on the flying sword, with the spirit power guard released by Bai Lao, the strong romance did not damage Yi Feng's handsome hairstyle, so he asked the system when he had nothing to do. Through the fusion of this body's memory, Yi Feng knew that in this Xuantian continent, the strengths were divided into Linghai realm, Qi realm, Rongling realm, Foundation establishment realm, God treasure realm, Purple palace realm, Yuanshan realm, Dongshu realm, transcends. There are 9 realms in the tribulation realm, and each realm is divided into 9th stage. Now that he has a point of failure, he really wants to improve his strength first. After all, there are systems, and mortals are still very losing face. In the Spirit Sea realm, each small realm needs to consume 10 prodigal points. For the Qi realm, each small realm needs to consume 100 prodigal points. In the Spirit Melting realm, 1000 prodigal points are consumed for each small realm raised. The jar of spiritual herbs is priced at 100 prodigal points. The first rank spiritual herbs will be designated at a 90% rate, and the second rank spiritual herbs will be designated at an 80% rate. The probability will not change with the increase in strength. The jar of spirit ore is priced at 100 prodigal points. The first rank spirit ore is specified at a 90% rate, and the second rank spirit ore is specified at an 80% rate. The probability will not change with the increase in strength. The medicine pill jar is priced at 100 prodigal points. The first rank medicine pill is designated for a 90% rate, and the second rank medicine pill is designated for an 80% rate. The probability will not change with the increase in strength. Cultivation technique jar, martial skill jar, formation jar, talisman jar. Supernatural powers, physiques, spiritual roots, etc., can be obtained by opening various jars at the same time. After the inquiry, although there was no systematic answer, a strange message emerged in his mind. System, the prodigal point needed to improve realm is a bit too much. Just in the spirit fusion realm, each small realm needs 1000 prodigal points, and he doesn't dare to think about it. As for other aspects, Yi Feng is quite satisfied. Not to mention, the 9th grade spiritual herbs are definitely a good thing with no market price, and if he spends 100 prodigal points, he has a 10% chance of getting it, and it is still possible. As specified, this probability is not low, to be honest. Wait, what's the use of those top-level 9th grade spiritual herbs, 9th grade spiritual mines, 9th grade medicine pills, etc.? Suddenly, Yi Feng suddenly realized a problem. Ding! The special items opened by the host's prodigal jars belong to prodigal behavior. The higher the level, the more prodigal points you get. Ding! This kind of prodigal behavior requires special circumstances. For example, a prodigal rank 9 medicine pill can be stepped on into a mud pad in front of a rank 9 pill refining master. This behavior is considered a prodigal success. What the hell? Hearing the system's answer, even Yi Feng couldn't help but utter foul language. This system is simply a dog to the extreme. Not only is this prodigal way of making others crazy, but also, doesn't it seduce him to play odds? It doesn't matter, let's raise a wave of strength first. At present, Yi Feng's strength is immortal. If you want to be promoted to the first stage of the Linghai realm, and formally enter the path of cultivation, you need 10 points of failure, and to directly break through to the 9th stage of the Linghai realm, you need 90 points of failure. System, consume 90 prodigal points, and raise your strength to the 9th stage of the 9th stage. Boom! As Yi Feng's voice fell, the surrounding spiritual qi surged in an instant, and then rushed towards his body like crazy. This guy is opening up the spiritual sea. Bai Lao, who was flying at extreme speed, also stopped at this time, and was looking at Yi Feng, who was beside him, with a shocked face. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the continuous flow of spiritual qi around is still pouring into Yi Feng's body, without any intention of stopping, but instead has a feeling of intensification. How is this possible? It's just to open up spiritual seas. Where would you need such a huge spiritual qi, so many spiritual qi? It's enough to open up several spiritual seas. Bai Lao, who was on the side, was shocked and shocked. It was the first time he saw a situation like Yi Feng, who opened up the spiritual sea. What's the matter? Does it take so long to open up Linghai? Looking inside, Yifeng looked at the ocean of spirit sea condensed by spiritual qi in his body. It was clearly formed, but it was still not over, which made him very puzzled. At this moment, Yifeng finally noticed something strange, that is, the spiritual qi in the spiritual sea in his body suddenly became stronger. If the power of the spiritual qi in the spiritual sea before was 1, it has now reached 2. How is this possible? It doesn't matter if you open up Linghai, how can you still break through to the second stage of Linghai realm? Bai Lao, who was on the side, noticed a breakthrough in Yifeng's body, and his shocked eyes almost didn't pop out. Opening up the spiritual sea is tantamount to building one's own foundation, which is extremely important for any cultivator. Not only a quiet environment is needed, but also some auxiliary medicine pills are needed to try their best to open up the spirit sea to the greatest extent, and to successfully open up the spirit sea, it will take some time to stabilize. He really had never seen Yifeng's situation. He said that when he opened up the spiritual sea, he opened up the spiritual sea, and the scene of opening up the spiritual sea was unusual. Even if the opening was successful, the realm was not stable, and he directly broke through to the first place in the spiritual sea realm. Second stage. 10 meters, 100 meters, km. Originally, the spiritual qi of the heaven and earth within a range of 10 meters fluctuated, but now the spiritual qi of the heaven and earth within the range of nearly 1,000 meters began to violently turbulent, and then madly rushed towards Yifeng's body. What happened? Who can tell me what's going on here? Bai Lao felt that the spiritual qi of the world within a kilometer range was completely turbulent, and the whole person was numb. Spirit Sea Realm 3rd stage. Spirit Sea Realm 4th stage. Spirit Sea Realm 5th stage. The breath of breakthrough continued to erupt from Yifeng's body, and as the speed of breakthrough became faster and faster, the range of spiritual qi fluctuations in the world began to increase again. 10 minutes later, as Yifeng successfully broke through to the peak of the 9th stage in the Linghai realm, the spiritual qi, the world within a few kilometers, gradually calmed down. 10 minutes. Daddy is a systematic man. It took 10 minutes to break through to the peak of the 9th stage of the 9th stage. Shouldn't it be done in an instant? Thinking of this, Yifeng looked embarrassed and looked at the old Bai who was already stupid and said, Lao Bai, it took me 10 minutes to open up the Linghai and then break through to the peak of the 9th stage in the Linghai realm. If the master knows, do you think I'm trash? Question mark. Waste. Are you saying you're trash? You are so personal, you are trash, then what are we? When Bai Lao heard this, he saw that Yifeng was speechless for a long time, what to say, saying that when the old man had sufficient cultivation resources, it took only 8 months to break through to the peak of the 9th stage of the Linghai realm. Moreover, that is under the premise of a strong cultivation technique and strong guidance. Taking a deep breath, Bai Lao looked at Yifeng and smiled. No wonder you don't need the sect cultivation technique, it turns out that you already have a powerful cultivation technique. After finishing speaking, Bai Lao is also extremely curious about Yifeng cultivation technique. What kind of heaven-defying cultivation technique is it, so that the other party can successfully open up the Linghai Sea in such a short period of time and make a breakthrough all the way to the peak of the Linghai realm 9th stage? What cultivation technique? I don't have a cultivation technique, and I don't even have a spiritual roots now. I can't even perceive the spiritual qi in the surrounding world. However, after hearing Bai Lao's words, Yifeng asked the doubts in his heart. Impossible. Hearing this, old Bai's expression changed drastically and he directly put his hand on Yifeng's forehead. The huge divine sense quickly checked Yifeng's body. Pedal. After a while, Bai Lao took a few steps backwards and looked at Yifeng with an innocent face, as if he was looking at a monster, his eyes filled with unbelievable expressions. No spiritual roots. The other party really does not have spiritual roots. In this case, it is impossible for the other party to perceive the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, let alone run the cultivation technique to absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth for cultivation. However, under such a strange situation, the other party not only successfully opened up the spiritual sea, but also suddenly broke through to the peak of the 9th stage of the spiritual sea. Horror. Moreover, did the other party open up the spirit sea? Then it is simply Wang Yangalinghai. You must know that the Linghai opened up by Luo Chenshui is more than 20 times that of a normal cultivator. Even the ancestors were disturbed at that time, but the Wangyang Linghai opened by Yifeng was full of Luo Chenshui Linghai. About 20 times as much. What kind of concept is that, which is equivalent to 400 times as much as a normal cultivator opens up the sea of spirits? Gudong. Thinking of this, even old Bai couldn't help swallowing, looking at Yifeng with a harmless face, he was really hit. Let's go, let your master see for yourself in this situation. If you don't understand, throw the pot. Old Bai's idea is very simple, since he's not his disciple anyway, this kind of weird thing should give his miss a headache. After a few minutes, Old Bai, why are you so slow? Luo Chenshui, who had been waiting at the top of the peak for a long time, saw that Bai Lao and Yifeng came up just now, and she was very angry. All this time was wasted, isn't it good to use it for cultivation? Miss, your precious disciple just made a breakthrough below. Not only did he open up more than 20 times as much spiritual sea as you, but he also broke through to the pinnacle of the 9th stage in the spiritual sea state by the way. By the way, he doesn't have spiritual roots in his body. If nothing else, he shouldn't be able to step into the path of cultivation. After speaking, Bai Lao walked directly to the sect in front of him. There is not really nothing here. There is everything here, such as the great hall of the sect, the residence courtyard of the disciples of the outer sect, the cultivation field, the residence courtyard of the inner discipline, and so on. Hearing Bai Lao's words, Luo Chenshui frowned slightly and immediately checked Yifeng's situation. When looking at the ocean of spirit sea in Yifeng's body, even she couldn't help taking a deep breath. Yifeng, you don't even have spiritual roots, how did you open up the spiritual sea and make breakthroughs? After being shocked, Luo Chenshui also looked at Yifeng curiously and asked. In this case, I am afraid that even her master in the upper realm could not give an explanation. The Full Moon sect is here to visit, and I also invite the sect leader of the Star Soul sect to come and see you. At this moment, an extremely arrogant voice came from below the peak. Soon, an old man in black robe walked out from the peak road with 3 young people. Why did you come here? Luo Chenshui asked directly when she saw the person coming. Inexplicably, having so many eccentric disciples is enough trouble, and now there are other people from sect, which makes her quiet cultivation. You are Luo Chenshui, the sect leader of the Star Soul sect. According to those who have met before, if you want to join your Star Soul sect, you need to hand over 10,000 low-quality spirit stones, which is really eye-opening for this old man. This time, the old man brought sect disciples here because he wanted to discuss with your disciples. The black-clothed old man looked at Luo Chenshui with a provocative face and directly explained his purpose. 3 9th stages of the spiritual sea. Are you confident? Luo Chenshui did not refuse. The creation of sect would have caused hostility from some nearby sects. It was extremely normal for them to come and smash the field. If there are no disciples, then there is nothing wrong with rejecting it directly. Thinking of this, Luo Chenshui became even more angry when she looked at Yifeng. If it wasn't for Yifeng, where would there be so many troubles? Master, can you use the talisman? After listening to Yifeng, thinking of today's prodigal product, he asked directly. Can, however, it can only be the talisman you have now, and you can't get it from sect now. Luo Chenshui hadn't made a sound yet, but the black-robed old man opposite didn't care and answered for her. Hearing the words of the black-robed old man, Yifeng began to take out a handful of Tianlei talismans from the system. In less than a minute, the Tianlei talismans in front of him had piled up to a height of 1 meter, at least hundreds of them. Zhang Zhiduo. First rank 9th. Every Tianlei talisman exudes the aura of the 9th rank of the first rank, which means that every talisman can unleash the full blow of the 9th stage. Tianlei talisman, blow up the daddy. Yifeng then grabbed a handful of talismans and threw them into the air. Boom, boom, boom. Dozens of thunderbolts with thick arms descended from the sky, blasting the ground beside them into deep pits one after another. Fried, fried, fried. It's so much fun. Yifeng was addicted to playing at this time, and threw the Tianlei talismans into the sky one by one. With the sound of one after another, he found the feeling of setting off firecrackers in his childhood. However, Yifeng is having fun. Luo Chenshui on the side, the black-robed old man not far away, and the 3 disciples around him were all dumbfounded. That is the first order 9th rank Tianlei talisman. One piece is worth at least 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. If it is the same realm cultivator, even one is hidden as a whole card. Are you throwing it here and playing? Just so stunned by cultivation technique, Yifeng had already emptied the 300 or 400 Tianlei talismans that he took out. Then, under the stunned gaze of everyone, Yifeng took out hundreds of Tianlei talismans from somewhere. Come on, let's fight. At this time, Yifeng held a Tianlei talisman in each hand, and shouted at the black-robed old man opposite. Master, let's go, this kid is so playful. Master, let's go, even if the three of us go up together, we won't be able to carry a few heavenly thunder talismans. Master, let's go, this Star Soul sect has a lot of wealth, and the first order 9th rank Tianlei talisman is thrown around for the disciples to play with, we can't afford it. At this time, the three disciples beside the black-robed old man were really panicked. Luo sect leader, this time my full moon sect has come here so rashly that I'm so disturbed, we'll have no plans in the future. With that said, the black-robed old man wanted to leave quickly with his disciple. Humph, what do you think of my Star Soul sect? Come when you say it, and leave when you say it. Luo Chenshui snorted coldly, and a terrifying aura burst out, instantly suppressing the few people who wanted to leave in place. The primordial spirit realm. You turned out to be a powerhouse in the primordial spirit realm. Feeling the pressure of this terrifying aura, the black-robed old man's expression changed greatly and he exclaimed, looking at Luo Chinzu's eyes full of disbelief. You must know that he has been cultivating for 100 years, and his strength is only the foundation establishment realm 8th stage, and he has only felt this terrifying coercion on the body of a big demon, and his full moon sect leader, the strength is not even the gods. The pinnacle of 9th stage. It is no exaggeration to say that the other party alone is enough to destroy his full moon sect. Thinking of this, the black-robed old man looked terrified. He never thought that this time he actually kicked the iron plate. Each arm is lost, and I'll let you go. Luo Chenshui looked at the black-robed old man indifferently, and said coldly. Pong, pong, pong. Luo Chinzu's voice fell, and the black-robed old man didn't hesitate to abolish the left arms of the three disciples with 3 palms. Hiss. Yifeng, who saw this scene, also took a deep breath, looked at Luo Chenshui with an indifferent face beside him, and said in shock, this girl is also a ruthless person. Okay, put away these Tianlei talismans. Seeing the black-robed old man lead the disciple away, Luo Chenshui turned her gaze to Yifeng who was beside her. Master, can you do the disciple a favor? Luo Chenshui was stunned when she heard this, and said casually, what's the matter? Help me throw these Tianlei talismans, there are still more than 9,000, I can't throw them by myself. Saying that, Yifeng began to take out a handful of Tianlei talismans again. At this moment, Yifeng felt that the Prodigal family was also a personal labor. Luo Chinzu's face was full of black lines, and the corners of her mouth twitched as she looked at Yifeng who kept taking out the Tianlei talisman. She wanted to say that these are all good things, how could they be so wasteful, but she still held back her words. Who is she, the holy maiden of sacred land in the upper realm? Her own disciples don't take these talismans seriously, how can she lose her identity? Throw hard. Luo Chenshui threw the thunder talismans into the air one by one. While looking at Yifeng who was still taking out the talismans, she thought to herself, I see how much you can take out. Boom, boom, boom. With the thundering of the thunder on the ground, Bai Lao, who had already returned to his residence to rest, noticed the difference, and walked back again with confusion. What are you doing? When Bai Lao came back, he saw Yifeng and Luo Chenshui sitting on the pile of talismans, and threw the Tianlei talismans one by one into the sky, and their angry beards stood up. The first order 9th grade Tianlei talisman. One piece is worth 1,000 low-quality spirit stones. Seeing that there are at least thousands of them under the two of them, and looking at the riddled ground on the side, Bai Lao feels distressed. Such a loser. 10,000 pieces, that is 1,000 top-grade spirit stones. As the top sect of Xingjizong, although it is not inferior to the top-grade spirit stones, this is simply a waste of money, meaningless. Old Bai, come on, let's play with it, master and I are tired. Yifeng saw Bai Lao who came out of the sect and greeted him quickly. Now he wants to quickly consume these Prodigal products and see how many Prodigal points the system can give. Nonsense, it's just bullshit. Miss, how can you fool around with him, it's all spirit stones. When Bai Lao, who came over, was about to continue lecturing the two, he saw Yi Feng suddenly hand him an interspatial ring. Old Bai, you are getting old too. After all, this is physical labor. These 100,000 top-grade spirit stones should be bought as supplements. Yi Feng looked at the old man Bai and said seriously. One husband is a man and 10,000 husbands can't open it, the old man is not old. You all get out of the way, and leave the rest of the talisman to this old man. Forehead. Yi Feng and Luo Chenshui, who had retreated to the back, watched Bai Lao diligently throw up the talisman, and for a while, they were also stunned. Ding! Congratulations to the host for the success of the Prodigal family, and reward 100 Prodigal points. Yi Feng was stunned when he heard the system's notification sound, and then he seemed to have discovered a new continent. He really didn't think about losing his family, so he thought about spending some spirit stones and asking Bai Lao to help. In this way, it would be easier to lose a family. 10 minutes later. What's so special? This old man has lived so long, he never thought that one day he would be physically and mentally exhausted from throwing the talisman. But soon, Bai Lao looked at Yi Feng with a smile on his face and said, Yi Feng, if you have this kind of physical work in the future, feel free to find me, I'm not old, I have strength. Old Bai, you are one of the 8 elders of the Xingji sect. You sold yourself with only 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. Luo Chenshui on the side really couldn't listen anymore, she felt that the sect with only 3 people was going to be messed up. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating today's Prodigal products, and rewarding 1,000 Prodigal points. Yi Feng didn't have time to pay attention to Bai Lao and Luo Chenshui at this time. He really didn't expect that the system would actually reward 1,000 Prodigal points. If not, this strength can be directly improved to the peak of the 9th stage. Now that the failure point has reached 1,410 points, it takes 100 failure points to break through the peak of the 9th stage in the Linghai realm to the 1st stage of the aerodynamic state, and it takes 100 failure points for the 1st stage to break through to the 2nd stage, and it takes 100 failure points to break through to the peak of the 9th stage. 900 Prodigal points. Thinking of this, Yi Feng prepared to improve his strength first, and then left 510 points of defeat, and directly opened 5 jars to play. Not only that, through the situation of Bai Lao, Yi Feng also has the next plan, which is to help Luo Chenshui develop the sect, and he will cover all the expenses. Thinking of this, Yi Feng felt that it would not be difficult to obtain a Prodigal point. Excuse me, is your sect recruiting disciples today? At this moment, a young man wearing a red Taoist robe came out from the peak road, looked at the 3 people in front and the surrounding ground riddled with holes, and asked a little uncertainly. Yes, today is the day when my Star Soul sect recruits disciples. As long as you can turn in 10,000 low-quality spirit stones, you can join the sect. As long as you can hand in 100,000 top-grade spirit stones, you can become a direct disciple of sect leader. I, Yi Feng, is the first disciple of sect, and also the eldest disciple of master. Before Luo Chenshui refused, Yi Feng took a step forward with a proud face and explained all the procedures clearly. This undefeated opportunity has come again. As long as the other party says there is no spirit stones, Yi Feng will never say anything else, it's all inclusive. Ding! Remind the host that this behavior is not in line with Prodigal behavior, unless the host gives a reasonable explanation. However, the system prompt sound suddenly sounded at this time. The first time I saw him, I felt that he was my long-lost junior brother. It's okay to spend some money for my junior brother. Hearing the system's reminder, Yi Feng quickly gave his own explanation. Ding! The host's explanation is reasonable, please control the number of spirit stones reasonably. Does this work too? Yi Feng didn't expect that he wanted to help the other party buy all the spirit stones, but the system would judge it as unreasonable Prodigal behavior, and casually made up such a nonsense reason, which turned out to be reasonable. Yi Feng felt that he had found another way to defeat the Prodigal point. Don't look at age, don't look at qualifications, don't look at cultivation base. Wonderful entry requirements. Leng Wufeng is actually ready to leave, because he feels that this sect is more and more unreliable. No wind, just stay in this sect, hand in 10,000 low-quality spirit stones, and officially become a sect disciple. When I'm done with the matter, I'll come to find you. Stay in this sect, I'm relieved. At this moment, an old voice suddenly sounded from Leng Wufeng's mind. At the bottom of the peak, an old man wearing a red robe walked away quickly, and Nan Nan said to himself, I didn't expect that sect was founded by Luo Wuming's Palm Pearl here, and by Tianong was also here, Wufeng that boy was here. Here, it's safe. Peak. As I said before, anyone who can turn in 10,000 low-quality spirit stones within an hour can join the sect. Don't blame me for not reminding you, it's almost time. Although Luo Chenshui wanted to refuse directly, but Yifeng said everything, and it was true that it was not even an hour before the time to enter the sect, she didn't mind giving him a chance. Of course, she has also seen that the other party is ready to leave. It's 10,000 low-quality spirit stones. Although I don't know why Grandpa On let him stay here, Leng Wufeng has the advantage of being obedient. Didn't you all prepare to leave just now? Panic me. Luo Chenshui looked at the other party and took out an interspatial ring. The whole person was going crazy, another big deal. I don't want to accept disciples anymore. Ugly speaking, even if you turn in spirit stones, after joining sect will not give you any cultivation resources, nor will you give sect cultivation technique and martial skill, and most importantly, I will not guide you in cultivation. Are you sure you want to join? Not reconciled. Holding the last glimmer of hope, Luo Chenshui repeated what she said to Yifeng before, hoping to persuade him to quit. Sect leader, don't worry, those disciples don't need it. Leng Wufeng felt that this sect was really unreliable, but thinking about his grandfather's words, and thinking about his major in pill refining, Grandpa had prepared everything for him, and he really didn't need anything. Miss, congratulations to sect for another disciple. At this time, Bai Lao looked at Luo Chenshui who was stunned and couldn't help smiling and congratulating. Call. Luo Chenshui took a deep breath, looked at Yifeng and Leng Wufeng, and said, take a rest today, and I will officially guide you in cultivation tomorrow. After speaking, Luo Chenshui turned around and left without looking back. Within an hour, there were inexplicably 2 more disciples, and one of them became her own disciple. She needed to go back to Jingjing alone. Outer sect disciples live in the courtyard area and inner discipline live in the courtyard area, you can choose for yourself. Anyway, there is no one in sect except the 2 of you at the moment. Let's have a good rest today. Bai Lao looked at the 2 of them, then turned and left with a smile. What's your name? In the future you will be inner discipline, I said. Yifeng didn't help Leng Wufeng become master's direct disciple in the end. Isn't it fragrant to enjoy the beautiful master alone? Hello, brother, my name is Leng Wufeng. Leng Wufeng felt that the senior brother in front of him was the most unreliable. There was no reason, but it was from a man's sixth sense. After a while, the 2 came to the inner disciple residential courtyard area, and each chose a quiet courtyard residence. Junior brother Wufeng, are you a pill refining teacher? When Yifeng followed the other party to the residence, and saw Leng Wufeng take out a 1-meter-high copper-colored pill stove from the interspatial ring, he also showed a touch of surprise. According to the memories he obtained from the original owner of this body, whether it is a pill refining master, an artifact refining master, a talisman master, a formation master, etc., they are all very popular in Xuantian continent. Senior brother Yifeng, I am indeed a pill refining teacher, and I am also a 3rd-rank pill refining teacher. Speaking of this, Leng Wufeng can't help but show a look of pride, not only as a 3rd-rank pill refining teacher, but also as a peak strength of 9th stage, which is 2 realms higher than Yifeng. Oh, after Yifeng heard it, he didn't have much reaction. Although he knew that since the other party was a 3rd-rank pill refining teacher, he must have the strength of the spirit fusion realm, but these were nothing to him at all. As long as there are enough prodigal points, it is not enough to surpass the opponent in minutes. What? Knowing that I am the 3rd-rank pill refining teacher, just one. However, he didn't care about Yifeng's, the cold and no wind on the side was uncomfortable, and he finally put on an X. Who would have wanted to be ignored by the other party? No matter how good his mentality was, he couldn't bear it. Junior brother Wufeng, you said that among the 3rd-rank spiritual herbs, what spiritual herbs are more precious? Yifeng was also moved at this time, not ready to make a breakthrough immediately, but wanted to open a few spiritual herbs jars, and then lose a wave in front of Leng Wufeng, and he might get more points of loss than he spent. bamboo demon grass, white soul flower, purple Leo, magic Lingzi mushrooms. What Lang Wufang said is not only precious among third-rank spiritual herbs, but rare. It is no exaggeration to say that if you take out any one, even a 9th-rank pill refining master will be jealous, because only these rare spiritual herbs can make some rare medicine pills, even 3rd-rank medicine pills. System: specify bamboo demon grass, white soul flower and purple thunderfruit, and open 4 jars each. 3 designated spiritual herbs, 4 each, worth a total of 1,200 prodigal points. Each jar has a 70% chance of being opened, and Yifeng is also looking forward to it. Ding! Consuming 1,200 prodigal points. Congratulations to the host for obtaining bamboo demon grass 2, white soul flower 1, and purple thunder fruit 3. What? Yifeng's eyes lit up at this time, and the 70% chance is really not covered. Except for only 1 white soul flower, 3 purple thunder fruit, and 2 bamboo monster grass, this probability, he is very satisfied. Senior brother Yifeng, you're not a pill refining teacher. Even if I say the names of these spiritual herbs, I'm afraid you don't know them. Even if you meet them, you may not recognize them. Lang Wufang looked at Yifeng and said with a smile. This is not because Lang Wufang is ridiculing Yifeng, but the fact, because these rare spiritual herbs, even he has only seen the pattern on his grandpa's spiritual herbs secret book, and he has never seen it in reality. Junior brother Wufang, I've been busy for a long time. I'm afraid you are thirsty. Senior brother will go and pour you a glass of water. Yifeng heard this, but smiled, and then left the Lang Wufang residence directly. Although this senior brother looks a little abnormal, he still cares about people. Looking at Yifeng who left to pour water for himself, Lang Wufang thought about refining a few more medicine pills for cultivation for this unreliable senior brother in the future. 3 minutes later, when Yifeng came back with the water cup, Lang Wufang was directly stupid. Bamboo demon grass, white soul flower, purple Leo. In the steaming water cup, 3 kinds of rare spiritual herbs are soaked in it, and the special power contained in it is melting into the scalding hot water. Brush. Lang Wufang, who had reacted, wrapped spiritual qi with his right hand and quickly took out the 3 spiritual herbs, his eyes filled with distress. Such precious and rare spiritual herbs are used to soak in water, which is simply a waste of money. Moreover, this is the first time in his life that he has seen these rare spiritual herbs. Senior brother Yifeng, these plants. Before Lang Wufang finished speaking, Yifeng directly picked up the 3 spiritual herbs on the table and threw them on the ground, stepped on them with his right foot and pressed them hard, and said at the same time, I heard that spiritual herbs soaking in water is very good for cultivators. Although the effect is not as good as the medicine pill, you don't like Wufang Jr. brother so much, it must be that these spiritual herbs are all garbage, it's all my brother's fault, I thought these spiritual herbs were good things. Don't want. Lang Wufang reacted, and quickly squatted down and pushed Yifeng's right foot away. Looking at the 3 spiritual herbs that had been completely trampled, he was really crying. Holy shit, spiritual herbs. That's 3 of the rare spiritual herbs I just mentioned. Senior brother Yifeng, this is 3 of the spiritual herbs I just mentioned. If you don't understand, ask me first, do you know that these 3 spiritual herbs are priceless treasures for our pill refining masters? After that, Lang Wufang was even more uncomfortable. Even his grandfather had never encountered this rare spiritual herbs, but he was trampled in front of his eyes. Who can withstand such a blow? Ding! Congratulations to the host for the success of the Prodigal, rewarded with 1,500 Prodigal points. At this moment, the system prompt that Yifeng had been waiting for finally rang. 1,500 points, does that mean that one Prodigal plant will be rewarded with 500 Prodigal points? I got a total of 6 plants, wouldn't I be able to get 3,000 Prodigal points, and I only consumed 1,200 Prodigal points. Yifeng couldn't take care of Lang Wufang, who was crouching on the ground with a collapsed expression. At this time, because of the large number of Prodigal points he had obtained, Yifeng felt that he was about to take off. I didn't expect these 3 spiritual herbs to be the 3 you mentioned. It's my brother's fault that he doesn't understand anything. Okay, anyway, it's already smashed, you quickly pack up and rest, I'll go back to my residence to rest. After simply comforting Lang Wufang, Yifeng left the other party's residence directly. 5 minutes later, hiss. Yi Feng put his feet into the warm foot basin, and a look of extreme enjoyment appeared on his face. The remaining bamboo demon grass and 2 purple leg wo were quietly soaked in the foot basin, and the power contained in them melted into the water. Yi Feng felt that his feet were extremely numb at this time. This is definitely not something that ordinary hot water can bring, of comfort. However, Yi Feng did not notice that his feet had gradually turned black at this time. Outside. No, I still have to remind senior brother Yi Feng, these 3 spiritual herbs, there is no problem in taking out one of them, even if the 3 spiritual herbs are put together, but if only the bamboo demon grass and purple thunder fruit are placed in the at the same time, it will produce a highly poisonous, although not fatal, but it is also a bit troublesome to deal with. Lang Wufeng was not sure whether Yi Feng still had such rare spiritual herbs in his hands, so he felt it was necessary to remind him. What's the matter? How did Daddy's feet turn black and he couldn't feel it? As soon as he walked to Yi Feng courtyard, Lang Wufeng heard the screams from Yi Feng in the house, his face changed, his heart was not good, and he rushed over quickly. Pong! He kicked the door open with 1 foot, and when Lang Wufeng saw Yi Feng's black feet beside the bed, he looked at the bamboo demon grass and 2 purple thunder fruits in the basin under the bed. His whole body trembled with anger. He had already explained to Yi Feng how precious these spiritual herbs were. But he never thought that Yi Feng would actually use this kind of spiritual herbs to soak his feet. What a special foot soak. Junior brother Wufeng, what's the situation with me? Seeing Lang Wufeng coming, Yi Feng also hurriedly asked. At this moment, he was also a little flustered. Soak your feet with spiritual herbs, who would have thought that they would be ruined? Ding! Congrats to the host for the success of the Prodigal, rewarded with 1,500 Prodigal points. Ding! Remind the host that it can consume 1,000 Prodigal points and immediately remove the toxins from the feet. Hearing the voice of the system, Yi Feng was relieved. As long as it can be solved, it is not a problem. Even, this time, he brought 3 spiritual herbs to soak his feet, and Yi Feng was not prepared to let Lang Wufeng see it. Even if the Prodigal points obtained by then would be a little less, one has to learn to enjoy it. Go, enjoy yourself and enjoy. Call. Lang Wufeng took a deep breath at this time, resisting the urge to slap Yi Feng to death and explained, Senior brother Yi Feng, I came here to remind you that if you put bamboo demon grass and purple leg wo together, there will be drama. Poisonous. System, consume 1,000 Prodigal points to clear the toxins from your feet. Hearing Lang Wufeng's explanation, Yi Feng chuckled lightly and gave instructions directly to the system. How can that be? Lang Wufeng's eyes widened at this moment, watching Yi Feng's black feet gradually return to normal color. He couldn't believe his own eyes. You know, this kind of poison is very troublesome to deal with. Hiss. At this time, Yi Feng put his feet into the foot basin again in front of the cold and windless face, and the numb electric shock struck again. What about poisonous? It's so cool to soak. If it's a big deal, it will consume another 1,000 Prodigal points, but now that kind of coolness makes Yi Feng unable to stop. System, if someone else gets this toxin, can I use the Prodigal point to help others remove the toxin? Yi Feng looked at the cold and windless face on the opposite side, and asked the system directly. Ding. Yes. Hearing the system's answer, Yi Feng hurriedly greeted Lang Wufeng and sat down and said, Junior brother Wufeng, fortunately my foot basin is big enough, if you don't dislike it, let's soak it together. Solve. When Lang Wufeng heard this, his face was instantly covered with black lines. Highly poisonous water, this unreliable senior brother even invited him to soak it together. Senior brother Yi Feng, I think it's better to forget it. After Lang Wufeng finished speaking, he quickly fled from Yi Feng's residence. Would you like to report this to sect leader? After leaving Lang Wufeng, his heart was in a tangle at this time. He didn't know whether those spiritual herbs belonged to sect or Yi Feng, but no matter who they belonged to, they were priceless spiritual herbs. Forget it, I'm not a scumbag who likes to make small reports. In the end, Lang Wufeng gave up suing Yi Feng and walked directly to his own courtyard. System, consume another 1,000 Prodigal points to eliminate the toxins on your feet. The system consumes 900 Prodigal points to increase the strength to the peak of the aerodynamic 9th stage. After that, Yi Feng lay down on the bed and rested. Inside the great hall of the sect. Old Bai, Who do you think that Yi Feng is? Luo Chenshui is full of curiosity about the mysterious Yi Feng. I don't know. However, after a long time, it will naturally become clear what kind of person he is. Wouldn't it be fun to lift his mysterious veil little by little? Bai Lao looked at Luo Chenshui and said with a smile. There is another sentence that Bai Lao did not say. This Yi Feng is simply a surprise. Since joining the sect, it has brought Luo Chenshui a lot of mental fluctuations. You must know that in the Xingji sect, Luo Chenshui is completely the kind of cold goddess who doesn't hear anything outside the window and devotes herself to cultivation. I feel like that fool was sent to torture me. By the way, there is also the cold and no wind. Now that there are two, I will spend a lot of time wasting on them. After Luo Chenshui heard this, she couldn't help but complained. She never dreamed that she could meet two people taking advantage of such harsh conditions for joining the sect. At this moment, both of them noticed that there was a breakthrough in the residential courtyard area of the inner discipline. Didn't that guy just break through to the pinnacle of the 9th stage of the spiritual sea realm? Is he about to prepare for Chu 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 again? At this time, Bai Lao suddenly had an extremely disturbing idea. Even if there is only a breath of breakthrough, who can guarantee the future? Not surprisingly, in the next 5 minutes, the breath of breakthrough kept coming, completely making the two of them dumbfounded. Aerodynamic environment 9th stage pinnacle. In less than 5 minutes, directly from the peak of the 9th stage in the Linghai realm to the peak of the 9th stage in the aerodynamic realm, a big realm was completely broken through. No wonder he was so confident before. It seems that he really doesn't need me to guide cultivation. Thinking of this, Luo Chenshui suddenly looked at Bai Lao and asked, You said, will he directly surpass my sect leader in a few days? Won't. Realm becomes more and more difficult as it goes forward. Not only does it need some opportunities, but also various cultivation resources and auxiliary medicine pill are essential. Especially when reaching the foundation establishment realm, these needs will become more obvious. This time, Bai Lao answered very seriously. To put it simply, what Bai Lao means is that I allow you to break through in the spiritual sea realm, Qi realm and Rongling realm, but when you reach the foundation establishment realm, you have to be honest. Of course, this is just Bai Lao's wishful thinking. Residence courtyard. Lang Wufeng stood outside Yi Feng's courtyard, his body trembling completely uncontrollably. What the hell just happened to him? The Linghai realm broke through to the aerodynamic realm, and then directly broke through to the peak of the aerodynamic realm 9th stage. Is this something that people can do? If he hadn't felt it himself, he wouldn't have believed that there would be such an unreasonable thing in the world. Is this still the unreliable senior brother I think? Lang Wufeng considers himself unparalleled in talent, whether in cultivation or pill refining, but now, he feels like a scumbag. Interesting, I'm afraid the next sect life will not be boring. Lang Wufeng turned around and walked towards his own courtyard with a smile. At this time, Yi Feng didn't know how much psychological impact his own breakthrough brought to several people, and now he is playing games with the fixed 7 fairies in his dream. The next day, early in the morning, Yi Feng got up and stretched, and directly checked the face of the mortal realm. Name: Yi Feng. Age: 18. Realm: aerodynamic 9th stage pinnacle. Physique: mortal. Martial skill: none. Supernatural powers: none. Items: none. Prodigal point: 310. Today's prodigal product: 3rd rank Qingxuan 10,000. It's a waste. Why did you have to soak in that poisonous water yesterday? It wasted 2,000 prodigal points, otherwise the prodigal points are absolutely rich now. Seeing that there were only 310 points left after yesterday's breakthrough, Yi Feng regretted it. However, what kind of medicine pill is this 3rd rank Qingxuan pill, and what does the 9 patterns in the notes later represent? Ask if you don't understand. Go to junior brother Wufeng, defeat all these medicine pills early, get the reward of prodigal points and open a wave of pots to play. Thinking of this, Yi Feng got up and left the residence and went straight to the cold and windless courtyard residence. What about people? However, when Yi Feng came to the cold and windless courtyard, he found that there was no one in the house at all. Yi Feng, are you looking for Lang Wufeng? At this moment, the voice of Bai Lao came from outside the house. Old Bai, have you seen Lang Wufeng? Yi Feng walked out of the house and looked at the smiling old Bai in the courtyard and asked quickly. After sect leader learned that Leng Wufang was a third-rank pill refining division, he took him to a nearby town to buy spiritual herbs early in the morning. Come on, I'll take you to find them. Old Bai stroked his long white beard and explained with a smile. Old Bai, have you heard of bamboo demon grass, white soul flower and purple thunder fruit? On flying sword, Yi Feng opened the topic boringly. What? You should have listened to Leng Wufang. These three spiritual herbs belong to the extremely rare spiritual herbs among the third-rank spiritual herbs. Although they are ranked third rank, they are absolutely priceless spiritual herbs for the pill refining division. Herbs. Bai Lao looked at Yi Feng in surprise and explained. It turned out to be so precious. No wonder I took these spiritual herbs to soak in water and feet. After seeing it, Wu Feng said that I was a waste of money. Geek. Hearing this, the flying sword controlled by Bai Lao swayed for a while, looked at Bai Feng with an unbelievable look and said word by word, you soak your feet with these three rare spiritual herbs. Hey, that feels so good. Old Bai, if I have a chance in the future, I will get some for you, and you can also bubble, but you must not put together the two spiritual herbs, bamboo demon grass and purple Leo, as they will be highly poisonous. Yi Feng said, and reminded him with a serious face. Who cares about whether these two spiritual herbs will be highly poisonous when put together? Is that stuff used to soak feet? After being shocked, Bai Lao suddenly grinned and said, Yi Feng, if you get these kinds of spiritual herbs in the future, please remember to save some for me. If Luo Chenshui was here, she would definitely collapse again, because old Bai was bought again. 5 hours later, a town finally appeared in the distance. Yi Feng, you walk around the town first, I just went to deal with some things, and I will find you later. After entering the town, after some instructions, Bai Lao left first. What is the Sihai Pavilion? Qingshan Blacksmith Shop, this is definitely the place to forge weapons. Wangchun Tower, I feel that there are many women from another world standing outside, it should be a good entertainment place. Tianyu Auction House. After wandering around for a while, Yi Feng stopped in front of an auction house. System, you said that I am such a loser, what if I encounter danger? Yi Feng finally asked an extremely important question at this time. Ding, the system provides Shenhao guards. Once the host's life is in danger, the Shenhao guards will appear on their own to solve the host crisis, but they will only solve the enemies that threaten the host's safety. That's it. Now that own safety is guaranteed, it must take off in waves. Thinking of this, Yi Feng walked directly into the Tianyu auction house. Since Leng Wufang could not be asked for the time being, there must be an appraiser who knows medicine pill in the auction house. This son, I don't know if there is anything that can help you. Just after entering the auction house, a staff member of the auction house came over and asked in a very good manner. I have a few medicine pills, I wonder if they can be auctioned at your auction house. Yi Feng looked at the other party and directly explained the purpose of this visit. Sir, our auction house has a 6th-rank pill refining specialist who is responsible for appraising medicine pill. I'll take you there. After a while, Yi Feng came to an appraisal room, and there was a middle-aged man in his 40s. Master, I don't know what kind of medicine pill you want to auction. Cao Anshan saw Yi Feng who was brought in by the staff and asked directly. It's this Qingshan pill. Yi Feng didn't talk nonsense either, he directly took out a Qingshan pill and put it on the table. Stare, however, to Yi Feng's surprise, Cao Anshan, who was opposite, stood up from his chair in shock after seeing medicine pill. Juan, it turned out to be Juan Qingshuandan. Cao Anshan, who was shocked, picked up the medicine pill to examine it carefully, and couldn't help but exclaimed. Is this medicine pill strong? Yi Feng looked at the shocked Cao Anshan and asked curiously. Strong. There are too many things to pay attention to when refining the Qingshan pill. Any small mistake may cause the medicine pill to be incomplete. Although it is only a 3rd-rank Qingshan pill, it can only be used by cultivators in the Spirit Fusion realm, Qi realm and Spirit Sea realm. But after all, this is the 9 patterns, which maximizes the medicinal effect of medicine pill. I've seen the highest one in the past, and I've only seen it on the 1st-rank Qingshuandan, and it's only 8 lines. Cao Anshan didn't hide anything because Yi Feng didn't understand anything. What are the 8 patterns and 9 patterns, what do they mean? Yi Feng listened to one head and 2 big ones, and asked with puzzlement. Son, No matter how many medicine pills it is, one pattern means that the medicine effect of this medicine pill is only 10% of the medicine effect of the complete medicine pill, and the two patterns are 20% of the medicine effect, and the complete medicine pill is the ideal state. 10 pattern medicine pill. Until now, I have never heard of anyone who can refine 10 pattern medicine pill, even the lowest first rank. However, even if it is a medicine pill, the efficacy is definitely much stronger than taking spiritual herbs directly, and how many grains can be refined is also an important assessment standard for a pill refining master. After listening to Cao Anshan's explanation, Yifeng asked directly, what price can this medicine pill sell for? A third-rank medicine pill. The normal price is around hundreds of thousands of low-grade spirit stones, and this Qingshan pill can not only clear the impurities in the body, but also reach 9 grains. To know. Cao Anshan didn't say too much. If he met a suitable bidder at the auction, the value of this Qingshan pill could at least double. After all, the efficacy of Qingshan pill was quite special. What? This broken medicine pill is worth hundreds of thousands of low-grade spirit stones. However, Yifeng was shocked when he heard the price. He really didn't expect such a broken medicine pill to be worth hundreds of thousands of low-grade spirit stones. If it were high-grade spirit stones, it would be dozens of high-grade spirit stones. Stones too. At this time, Yifeng didn't remember that he spent 500,000 top-grade spirit stones to buy a direct disciple, and 100,000 top-grade spirit stones to hire Bai to throw talismans. Broken medicine pill. Hearing that Yifeng said that Juan Qingshuandan, which he was very jealous of, said it was broken medicine pill, the corners of Cao Anshan's mouth couldn't help twitching. He suddenly felt that he had become a beggar. Breaking the medicine pill is a treasure in his eyes. When will your auction house have an auction? Yifeng looked at Cao Anshan and asked directly. Master Yang, by coincidence today, there will be an auction in the afternoon. Cao Anshan quickly replied with a smile. Okay, here's another one. You can directly contact the person in charge of the auction house to add 2 medicine pills to the afternoon auction. How many spirit stones are sold at that time? I will come to pick them up later. After speaking, Yifeng took out another Qingshan pill and put it on the table, then got up and left. This broken medicine pill is so expensive. I want to see how many big injustices bid for these 2 medicine pills. Although Yifeng's voice was very low, Cao Anshan was not only a 6th-rank pill refining master, but also a strong man in the Purple House realm. Hearing this, he felt numb. Such a rare and precious medicine pill, the bitter how did it become a big injustice? Click. After leaving the auction house, Yifeng ate a Qingshan pill at random. Since it is to clear the impurities in the body, it must be fine to eat it. Anyway, it is the product of a prodigal family, so it is good to eat it as a snack. At this moment, Yifeng suddenly saw a little wild dog lying on the ground dying beside the street looking at him pitifully, sighed helplessly, and walked directly towards the little wild dog. Dog, I just figured it out, and found that we are destined to be human and dogs, so you can follow me in the future. After speaking, Yifeng bought some steamed buns at a nearby stall. Eat more. Looking at the little yellow dog eating so much, Yifeng secretly said, I don't know if people in this world will one day find that they are not as good as a dog and will collapse. That's right, Yifeng just thought about how tiring he is to eat medicine pill. Even if he calls junior brother Wufang, Shizen Beauty, and Lao Gongbai from Kuli, and wants to eat all 10,000 Qingshan pills, I'm afraid the cheeks will go on strike soon. But now it's all right. With the little yellow dog, 10,000 medicine pills are nothing to worry about. Even if the prodigal product of the future will spawn the medicine pill again, there is no need to worry anymore. After the little yellow dog was full, his little head kept rubbing against Yifeng's trouser legs, which seemed extremely intimate. Come on, I'll take you to a shower and start working for the daddy. Yifeng laughed, and walked towards a restaurant not far away with the little yellow dog. Master Yang, your dog can't be brought into the restaurant. The second shopkeeper saw Yifeng walking into the restaurant with the dirty little yellow dog, and hurriedly stepped forward to persuade him with a smile. Tell me how many spirit stones, give me a first-class guest room, and I want to give my dog a bath. Yifeng said directly without caring. In the end, Yifeng spent 10,000 low-quality spirit stones to open a first-class guest room directly in the restaurant, and successfully brought the little yellow dog into the restaurant. In the room, Yi Feng looked at the little yellow dog who was having fun in the big bathtub, but he was helpless. He spent 10 times the price to open a guest room, but the system did not judge it as a prodigal behavior. What are you looking at? Wash it up quickly, and let daddy work hard after washing it. If it wasn't for you, this time, I would have made another 100 prodigal points. Seeing that he didn't care about his own little yellow dog, Yi Feng felt that he had to get something to activate his intelligence in the future, otherwise this dog would be so stupid. 10 minutes later, looking at Xiao Wangtu who had taken a bath, Yi Feng took out a handful of Qingxuandan and threw it on the ground. A stupid dog is a stupid dog, and it doesn't matter if this thing is poison or not. Looking at the little yellow dog eating so much, Yi Feng's only satisfaction is that he found a free coolie dog. A trace of impurities is constantly being purified from the little yellow dog by the medicinal power of medicine pill. As the little yellow dog eats more and more Qingxuandan, the body becomes more and more pure, and even in the end, a trace of spiritual qi actually began to melt into the little yellow dog's body on its own. This kind of situation, I am afraid it has never happened in the entire Xuanqing continent. After all, not everyone can own the 9-pattern Qingxuan pill, even if it is only the 3rd rank, and no prodigal will feed such a precious 9-pattern Qingxuan pill to an ordinary little yellow dog. After an hour, hey, dog, get up and continue to eat, you'll be lazy after eating more than 2,000 pieces. Looking at the little yellow dog lying on the ground and sleeping soundly, Yi Feng was so angry that he only ate more than 2,000 pieces. Moreover, he noticed that before the little yellow dog fell asleep, looking at the Qingxuandan in front of him showed a humanized look of contempt, as if he had eaten enough and was no longer despised. Forget it, I'm too lazy to continue shopping. The dog is sleeping, so I'll go to bed. It's really tiring to be a prodigal. Yi Feng glanced at the sleeping little yellow dog, lay down directly on the comfortable bed, and fell asleep. If he didn't sleep, he really didn't know what to do, and he didn't want to go out to deliberately find a place for the prodigal. That's too stupid. 4. As a cultivator, it is not a problem to go to sleep for a few days or nights or sleep for a few days and nights. Yi Feng is very fortunate that he is a powerful 9th stage peak powerhouse, at least he can sleep whenever he wants. Because Yi Feng didn't have spiritual roots, he couldn't detect the spiritual qi in the surrounding world, so he didn't know at all that although the little yellow dog was sleeping soundly, the surrounding world's spiritual qi was slowly entering its body. At this moment, the little yellow dog is evolving from an ordinary beast to demonic beasts, without any bloodline, evolving towards demonic beasts by itself. Without the powerful demonic beast's bloodline, its future upper limit will depend on Yi Feng. When Yi Feng was asleep, the auction held by Tianyu Auction House had already started. You two boys are so lucky. I didn't expect to bring you here to buy some spiritual herbs for ordinary pill refining, and I even encountered a 9-pattern Qingxuan pill that has never appeared before. These 2 3rd-rank 9-pattern Qingxuan pills are of great benefit to both of you. No matter how much you spend today, I will help you to take pictures for the master. In the box on the 2nd floor, Luo Chenshui said indifferently, but Leng Wufeng on the side was extremely grateful, and she was extremely glad that her own strength was at the peak of the 9th stage. Once she broke through to the foundation establishment realm, he would really follow this. The 3rd-rank Juan Qingxuandan was missed. Clearing the impurities in the body is tantamount to recasting the foundation. It is extremely important for cultivators, but there are not many pill refining masters who can refine Qingxuan pill. It is not that there is no pill recipe, but there are too many points to pay attention to in the refining process. Too much. If the 5 lines cannot be achieved, the effect of taking it is basically minimal. In a tea house, old Exietu, I finally came here, but you are better. It's a morning when you go out. Seeing his old friend come back, Bai Lao couldn't help laughing and scolding. Old Beidu, let me tell you, I just received 2 special medicine pills at the auction house branch in Zifeng City. The 3rd-rank Qingxuandan, do you know how many lines it is? Xia Yu, who was wearing a white robe, looked at Bai Tianhong and said mysteriously. Qing Zan Dan, it can make you toss all morning, I'm afraid it should be above the 7 lines. Is it made by those old guys? After listening to Bai Tianhong, he pondered for a while and then said his own guess. 9 patterns. And 2. I don't know who made it, but a young man sent it to the auction house for sale. I checked it myself, and the 2 Qingshan pills are perfect, and the limit is close to the ideal 10 pattern pill. Speaking of this, Sha Yu couldn't help but show a look of amazement. He is also a 9th grade pill refining master. He really wants to see the amazing refining techniques of the person who refines this medicine pill. Hearing Sha Tianyu's words, for some unknown reason, Yi Feng's figure suddenly appeared in Bai Tianong's mind. Chapter 11. Old Exietu, do you know the name of that young man? In order to confirm the conjecture in his heart, Bai Tianhong also immediately asked. Do not know. The young man not only didn't leave his name, he didn't even collect the deposit from the auction house. He handed it over to an appraiser of the auction house and left directly, only saying that he would come to collect the auction money after that. According to the information I have obtained, I feel that this young man doesn't care about these 2 medicine pills at all, and it is very likely that they came from a hidden sect or sacred land. Sha Yu tapped the wooden table with his fingers and directly said his own guess. Old Exietu, come with me, I'll take you to meet someone. Although he didn't get that person's name, Bai Tianong still felt that that person was Yi Feng. In order to confirm the conjecture in his heart, he was going to take Sha Tianyu to find Yi Feng directly. Who? Sha Tianyu asked curiously. My miss didn't create a sect. The person I brought you to meet is Mrs. Direct Disciple. Speaking of this, Bai Tianong didn't explain too much. He left the restaurant with Sha Yu, released divine sense and started looking for Yi Feng. 10 minutes later, Bai Tianong and Sha Tianyu finally found Yi Feng and came to the door of his guest room. Peng. When he found that the door was locked inside, Hong also kicked him directly during the day, because he found that Yi Feng was sleeping again. How could a qualified cultivator waste his precious time on sleeping? However, when they kicked open the door and walked in, the 2 of them froze in place. Yi Feng, who was sleeping on the bed, sat up in a daze. Xiao Huang, who was sleeping on the ground, also slowly opened his eyes. What made the 2 of them sluggish was the dozens of 9 pattern 3rd rank Qingshan pills scattered on the ground in front of the little yellow dog. Hey, Mr. Bai, why are you here? Are you done? Seeing that the person who came was Bai Lao, Yi Feng also asked suspiciously. Stupid dog, you know how to sleep, why haven't these medicine pills finished? Immediately afterwards, Yi Feng saw that the Qingshan pills on the ground had not been eaten by the little yellow dog, and scolded him angrily. However, this time, there was a scene that surprised Yi Feng. Hearing his own scolding, the little yellow dog showed a touch of humanized disgust, and even pushed those Qingshan Dan aside with his claws. It's as if I despise these medicine pills very much. What did I see? That's all 9 pattern 3rd rank Qingshuandan. Now I can't wait to run over and take it all for myself, only to be rejected by a dog. My dignified 9th grade pill refining master, the behind-the-scenes boss of Tianyu Auction House, can't even compare to a dog. Sha Yu, who was standing at the door, saw this scene, and felt that his proud heart of a strong man had been hit by billions of critical hits. Old Exietu, this is no ordinary wild dog. Don't you notice that the spiritual qi around the little yellow dog is pouring into its body on its own? Although it is very rare, at this rate, within a year, this little yellow dog will probably enter the ranks of demonic beasts. On the other hand, Bai Tianong, who was shocked, said an unbelievable fact. Hearing Bai Tianong's words, Sha Tianyu's attention shifted from those Qingshan pills to the little yellow dog. There are no impurities in the body. There is no demonic beast's blood in the body. It's transforming itself from ordinary beasts to demonic beasts. After stepping forward to check it out, Sha Yu said something that shocked everyone. There are no impurities in the body. There are no impurities in the body. Sha Tianyu, who kept repeating this sentence, suddenly fell on the dozens of Qingshan pills scattered on the ground, suddenly looked up at Yi Feng who was sitting on the bed and asked, You this how much of this 9 pattern 3rd rank Qingshan pill did the little yellow dog eat? How many? It's not much, it seems to be more than 2,000. Yi Feng recalled for a moment, and casually said an approximate amount. What? More than 2,000? However, when they heard Yi Feng's words, Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu exclaimed together, looking at Yi Feng with sharp eyes. If they could, their eyes would not know how many times they had killed Yi Feng. Daytime Hong. Is this the eldest disciple of your Star Soul sect? Such a precious 9-pattern 3rd rank Qingxuandin is actually used to feed the dog, you don't care. Finally, unable to suppress the anger in his heart, Sha Yu yelled directly at Bai Tianhong who was beside him. "Tube, what do you do? This kid has a lot of money. Sometimes the old man has to work for him. What do you want me to do?" Bai Tianhong looked at Sha Yu and went back with confidence. Question mark. The furious Sha Tianyu was stunned when he heard this. Who is Bai Tianhong, one of the 8 elders of the Xingji sect, a strong 3rd stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm, and may even break through to the 4th stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm at any time. Such a strong man would actually work for a disciple of his own sect. Old Bai, I don't know if I can do the disciple a favor. It's an old rule, 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. Just when Sha Yu was stunned, Yi Feng's voice suddenly sounded. No way. The dog began to be picky eaters. Yi Feng found out that it was already afternoon, and he had to hurry up to destroy the remaining more than 7,000 Qingshan pills. Yi Feng, don't you want me to help you eat these Qingshan pills? How much do you have in your hand? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bai Tianhong guessed something, but still asked. Old Bai, there are more than 7,000 left, and they must be eaten up before night. You must have lost your teeth, right? Yi Feng asked Bai Tianhong with a suspicious look. Humph, the old man is not old, and there is no problem with his teeth. Hearing this, Yi Feng felt relieved, walked to the table in the guest room, first took out an interspatial ring containing 100,000 top-grade spirit stones, and then began to take out Qingshan pills one by one and put them in on the table. Looking at the old friend who stuffed such precious Juin Qingxuandin into his mouth as snacks, he looked at Yi Feng who kept appearing Qingxuandin in his hand, and Sha Tianyu on the side was like a lightning strike, sluggish in place. Can't come back to God for a long time. Pong, God, what are you looking at? Hurry up and eat those Qingshan pills left on the ground, or Daddy will stew you. At this moment, Yi Feng saw the little yellow dog lying on the ground looking at Bai Tianhong who was eating so much with a mocking look, and kicked him angrily. Wong wong wong. The little yellow dog seemed to understand what Yi Feng had just stewed. After getting up from the ground, he walked back with a reluctant look, and began to silently eat dozens of Qingshan pills on the ground. Crazy. They're all crazy. That's Juin Qingxuandin. Sha Tianyu looked at all this, and his whole person was going crazy. He had seen a prodigal, but he had never seen such a prodigal, let alone such a 9-pattern medicine pill that he had never seen before. Yan, it was simply a priceless treasure, but it was so bad for him that he was miserable. I didn't expect Juin Qingxuandin to be so delicious. Although the efficacy of the medicine has no effect on me, it is also a pleasure to eat. At this time, Bai Tianhong also became more and more refreshed. In the past, he also took Wu Wenju Pin Qingshan pill, but just one emptied 1/10 of his wealth. Although the efficacy of the medicine helped him to a certain extent, the taste was really good. It can't compare to this 9-pattern Qingxuandin, even if it's only at the 3rd rank level. But, eating and eating, Hong actually cried during the day, but this made Yi Feng and Sha Yu look stupid. Can you eat a medicine pill and cry yourself? If I could eat these Qingshan pills when I was young, I'm afraid that I would have already passed the 9th stage and ascended to the upper realm. It's definitely not like this, and I can't see the slightest hope at all. Hearing this, Sha Yu on the side also fell silent. Both of them had survived the 3rd stage Thunder Tribulation and reached the current pinnacle of the 3rd stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm. But over the years, although they have already been able to hit the 4th stage in the Transcends Tribulation realm, but there has been no breakthrough, because they can't guarantee whether they can resist the 4th stage Thunder Tribulation. If they fail, they will die. This senior, I wonder if we can help out together. Of course, Junior won't let you help in vain. It's also a reward of 100,000 top-grade spirit stones, how about that? Yi Feng felt that Bai Lao was eating too slowly by himself, so he stared at Sha Yu next to him, and at the same time took out an interspatial ring with top-grade spirit stones and placed it on the table full of Qingxuandin. Question mark. Eat such a precious Qingxuandin, can you really get such a generous reward? Sha Yu couldn't believe his own ears. The most important thing was that he was not from the Star Soul sect. How could such a good thing be cheap to outsiders? After a while, Seeing Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu sitting at the table constantly eating Qingshan pill, Yi Feng still had a trace of melancholy on his face, because the speed was still too slow. At this time, he even missed Shizhen and Wu Feng Jr. brother. If 2 more people join, the speed will definitely reach a new height again. Yi Feng, the 2 Qingshan pills auctioned by Tianyu Auction House are also yours. After more than 10 minutes of eating, even Bai Lao felt a little sour in his cheeks, and he slowed down and asked Yi Feng. Those 2 Qingshan pills are also mine. I just broke the medicine pill. One can sell for hundreds of thousands of low-quality spirit stones. I just want to see which one of them will buy it. Yi Feng replied casually after listening. Cried. Sha Tianyu, who was eating Qingshuandan, cried when he heard this. Are you calling it medicine pill? Not to mention hundreds of thousands of low-quality spirit stones, even if it is 1 million low-quality spirit stones, he wants as many as there are. It's ridiculous that he still thought about being able to contact the owner of medicine pill and buy it directly at a high price. Who would have thought that the reason why the other party put it in the auction house for auction was to see which one would buy it? Outside the restaurant, 2nd floor, the 3rd guest room on the east side, your senior brother and Bai Lao are there. After Luo Chenshui found the 2 of them through divine sense, she walked into the restaurant with an extremely excited Lang Wufeng. Senior brother, you would never have imagined that Shizhen spent a huge amount of money to get some good things for our brothers. Lang Wufeng held a sandalwood box containing a medicine pill in each hand and directly kicked the door open and shouted excitedly. Luo Chenshui also walked in at this time. Although her face was cold, there was a hint of playfulness in her eyes. She wanted to see Yi Feng learn that she had spent more than 1 million for him and auctioned off a low-quality spirit stones. What kind of expression will the 9-pattern Qingshuandan look like? So what if you have money? This kind of medicine pill is not something you can buy with money. If you don't happen to meet it, no matter how rich you are, it is impossible to get it. However, when Lang Wufeng and Luo Chenshui saw the table full of 9-pattern Qingshuandan in the room and Bai Shenhong and Sha Yu who were eating those Qingshuandan as snacks, they couldn't believe it. Even Lang Wufeng didn't know when the 2 pill boxes with Qingshan pill in his hands fell to the ground. Big injustice. And when they heard Lang Wufeng's words, Bai Tianong and Sha Yu also looked at Luo Chenshui with disbelief. They never thought that the big injustice Yi Feng was waiting for was Luo Chenshui. After a few minutes, when Luo Chenshui knew the ins and outs, her head was congested with qi and almost fainted. The broken medicine pill that his apprentice put into the auction house, but he, the master, competes fiercely with many auctioneers for the auction. It's ridiculous that she still thinks that medicine pill can make a round after the auction, but who would have thought that it would become a big injustice in Yi Feng's mouth? Elder brother, then, can I eat these Qingshan pills? Lang Wufeng, who also knew everything, was staring at the Qingshuandan on the table. He knew that if he could take more, he would definitely take off. Of course you can eat it, eat as much as you want, and be full. Yi Feng immediately laughed when he heard this. He was worried about how to defeat these medicine pills as soon as possible. Eldest brother is awesome. The excited Lang Wufeng rushed directly to the table, but because he was too excited, the table shook a little, and more than 10 Qingshan pills rolled directly to the ground. Not good. Lang Wufeng was shocked when he found a little yellow dog beside him. This medicine pill has a fatal attraction to these ordinary beasts. That is more than 10 Qingshan pills. If a dog eats this, he will go crazy. However, what made Lang Wufeng bewildered was that 2 Qingshan pills rolled down in front of the little yellow dog lying on the ground, and the little yellow dog stretched out his front paws in disgust and pushed the 2 medicine pills away. Luo sect leader, I use people's money to do things for people, and there are some things I shouldn't say, but as his master, you really have to take good care of him. Such a precious Juan Qingshuandan, he actually gave this. The wild dog has eaten more than 2,000 pieces, and it's a waste of money, a waste of money. Lang Wufeng, who picked up the 2 Qingshan pills that had just pushed the little yellow dog away, shuddered violently when he heard this, and looked at the little yellow dog in front of him. His heart was broken. It's ridiculous that he thought he could eat a 9-pattern Qingshuandan and was complacent, but it turned out to be not as good as a dog. Luo Qinzu's face twitched uncontrollably when she heard that Yi Feng had eaten more than 2,000 medicine pills for the wild dog in front of her. She heard Lang Wufeng say that up to now, No matter what grades of Qingshan pill, the highest one has only appeared with 8 lines, and this kind of 9-pattern Qingshan pill has never appeared before, which is enough to prove the preciousness of this medicine pill. After an hour, Yi Feng looked at Bai Tianhong, Sha Yu, and Leng Wufeng all slumped on the chairs, but there were still more than 2,000 Qingshan pills left, and his eyes looked directly at Luo Chenxue, who had been motionless. You don't want me to eat. But I can spend a lot of money to buy the remaining Qingshan pill. Luo Chenxue also has her own purpose. After all, there are still more than 2,000 left. If she gets her father's sect in this life, she can definitely create many geniuses. Master, it's not that I don't sell it, it's that I can't sell it. Hearing Luo Qinzu's proposal, Yi Feng chose to refuse without thinking. A spoiled product. It was a prodigal item. It didn't matter if you auctioned a few, but more than 2,000 pills were used for normal consumption. Yi Feng felt that something would definitely go wrong, and it would eventually affect the prodigal point he obtained. I'll pay 10 times the price. Just after finishing speaking, Luo Chenxue suddenly found that several people in the room looked at her with strange eyes, and then suddenly thought of something, her face instantly embarrassed. The inexplicably extra-direct disciple of me is not a poor master at all. Master, the taste of this medicine pill is very good, you really don't want to try it? Yi Feng looked at Luo Chenxue and asked again. If Luo Chenxue was still unmoved, I'm afraid he would have to go outside to pick up a wild dog and come back. 2 hours later, with Luo Chenxue joining in, and Bai Tianhong, Sha Yu, and Leng Wufeng resting for a while, and then eating some, then all the remaining Qingshan pills were eaten up. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully hiring Bai Tianhong Prodigal, reward 100 Prodigal points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully hiring Sha Yu's Prodigal family and rewarding him with 200 Prodigal points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating today's Prodigal products, rewarding 1,000 Prodigal points, rewarding the 9th grade 9-leaf Soul Rejuvenation Grass 3, and rewarding the 9th grade Golden Silkworm Star Shining Stone 5. Ding! The reward items are consumed in a prodigal way, and you won't get a lot of Prodigal points, and the host can use them at will. What? Yi Feng didn't expect that the Prodigal product on the day of defeat this time not only got the Prodigal point, but also got other rewards. Hey, old Bai, do you think it's interesting what I, the sect leader or the master, did? Luo Chenxue, who was on the side, sighed at this time, and looked at Bai Tianong who was on the side and asked. This. When Bai Tianong heard this, he didn't know how to answer for a while. Cultivation without guidance. There is also no need to give cultivation resources. It's okay to make some extra money from your own great disciple. Not to mention that Luo Chenxue felt this way at this time. He felt that Yi Feng was not sect's disciple at all, but more like sect's god of wealth, but this god of wealth was a bit of a prodigal. Old Sha, I heard that you were a 9th grade pill refining teacher. I wonder if you've heard of a 9th grade 9-leaf soul returning grass. If he didn't understand, he asked. Yi Feng looked at Sha Tianyu and asked directly. 9-leaf soul returning grass. That is the legendary spiritual herbs, commonly known as the soul returning grass. Each leaf represents the medicinal effect of the soul returning grass, not to mention the 9-leaf soul returning grass. I have never seen even a single leaf of the soul returning grass, and the soul returning grass is the most important spiritual herbs for refining the soul returning life-saving pill, and it is not one of them. The soul returning life-saving pill, once taken, within 24 hours, even if the soul is destroyed, the efficacy of the medicine can save the soul. It is no exaggeration to say that the soul resurrection pill is definitely the medicine pill that any transcends tribulation powerhouse is most eager to obtain. With the medicine pill soul protection, even if the transcends tribulation fails and the body is destroyed, at least the spirit can remain, and in the future find a way to recast the flesh. When Sha Tianyu heard Yi Feng mention this spiritual herbs, he also introduced it in detail. After all, Sha Tianyu knew Yi Feng for the first time. He didn't know how prodigal the other party was. But Bai Tianong knew, and, although it was only less than 2 days, but with his understanding of Yi Feng, if the other party didn't have it, he would never ask. Old Exietu, bamboo demon grass, white soul flower and purple thunder fruit, do you know? Bai Tianhong took a deep breath at this time, and suddenly asked Sha Yu who was looking at him. Although these three kinds of spiritual herbs are extremely rare, there are still some in the hands of many major forces, even if they are not many. What's wrong? Sha Yu asked suspiciously. This kid soaked his feet with these three spiritual herbs yesterday. What? Hearing this, Sha Yu stood up from his chair in shock. Although these three types of spiritual herbs are not extinct, the known numbers are very small in the entire Schwantian continent. How could someone soak their feet with such rare spiritual herbs? Yi Feng, you should have 9-leaf soul-returning grass in your hand. If you don't have it in your hand, I'm afraid you won't ask aloud. Don't say anything else. This kind of spiritual herbs definitely belongs to the legendary spiritual herbs. You must never use them to soak your feet again. Bai Tianong didn't care about Sha Tianyu, who stood up in shock at this time, but quickly persuaded Yi Feng. But I have 3 plants. If you take out one plant to soak your feet, it should be fine. Yi Feng's words are not teasing Bai Tianong, but he is really prepared to do this. Although he is a prodigal, he is a god after all. It must be enjoyed. The third-rank spiritual herbs are so cool to soak their feet. Can you try? No, Yi Feng, do you really have 3 9-leaf soul-returning grasses in your hands? Then you say a price. No matter what the price is, I want these 3 9-leaf soul-returning grasses, even if I spend all my money. Sha Yu finally reacted, and at this time he promised everything. Not only the soul-returning life-saving pill that the 9-leaf soul-returning grass can refine is extremely important to him, but the most important thing is that he can't stand such spiritual herbs being taken. Go soak your feet. This can no longer be regarded as a waste of nature, it is simply maddening. Master, this 9-leaf soul-returning grass is my disciple's filial piety. I will definitely take this second 9-leaf soul-returning grass back to soak my feet. It's not easy for anyone to do it. As for this third 9-leaf soul-returning grass, Bai Lao, as long as you help me do more physical work in the future, it will most likely be yours. Yi Feng directly took out the 3 9-leaf soul-returning grasses and directly decided the fate of the 3 9-leaf soul-returning grasses. This. Luo Chenshui was stunned when she looked at the 9-leaf soul-recovering grass that Yi Feng had stuffed into her hands. First, 100,000 pieces of top-grade spirit stones purchased his own personal disciple status, and then he directly gave himself 400,000 pieces of top-grade spirit stones as the apprenticeship ceremony. Now I have sent another priceless 9-leaf soul-returning grass. The ghost knows what will he get from his own great disciple in the future. In this way, Luo Chenshui even gave birth to a feeling of being supported by the other party. Thinking of this, Luo Chenshui shook her head in fright, and even wanted to return the 9-leaf soul-rejuvenating grass in her hand immediately, but thinking that she might need a soul-returning life-saving pill for transcends tribulation in the future, at this moment, she hesitated. Yi Feng, as long as you do some coolie work for you, you can get that 9-leaf soul-rejuvenating grass, right? After listening to Yi Feng's words, Sha Yu immediately focused on the last 9-leaf soul-returning grass. Old Exietu, what do you mean? That 9-leaf soul-returning grass belongs to the old man, you still can't grab it. Bai Tianong was in a hurry at this time, and he also needed a soul recovery pill. Hearing that Yi Feng was going to give the last one to him, and now seeing Sha Yu coming to grab it, he immediately cursed in a hurry. Leng Wufeng was extremely quiet at this time, and he was thinking about one thing, that is, Yi Feng took the water that Juya Weiankao soaked his feet in. Can he soak it in some light, and then soak it too? Luo sect leader, I want to join your sect to be an honorary elder. I wonder if it would be convenient. Seeing that the quarrel was nothing but Bai Tianhong, Sha Yu rolled his eyes and hit Luo Chenshui directly. ? Old Sha, you said you want to join my little star soul sect. Luo Chenshui looked at Sha Yu with a serious face and couldn't believe her own ears. Who is the other party? Not only is the 9th grade pill refining master, but also has the powerful cultivation base of the 3rd stage of the transcends tribulation realm. Most importantly, the other party's Tianyu auction house spreads over nearly 1/5 of the Schwantian continent. This kind of boss wants to join her sect. Girl Chenshui, the old man hugged you when you were young. If you don't agree, I will go to your father. Seeing that Luo Chenshui didn't respond for a long time, Sha Tianyu was really anxious. No matter who Yifeng was, there were even such legendary spiritual herbs, and when they came out, there were 3 plants. Just soaking your feet is enough to prove that these 3 spiritual herbs are not important to others at all, and it is not guaranteed that there are more legendary spiritual herbs in the other's hands. If he doesn't keep up with the team, he will definitely regret it later. Yes, but what should you do with your auction house property, Mr. Shaw? Luo Chenshui was also stunned. She didn't expect Elder Shaw to be so determined to join her sect. It's time for the auction house property to be handed over to my unfinished son. After finishing speaking, Sha Yu looked at the resentful Bai Tianhong with a smug look and said, Old Baidu, who can get that 9-leaf soul rejuvenating grass depends on their performance. You are cruel. When Bai Tianhong heard the opponent's provocation, 2 words expressed all his emotions. It's over. I don't want to develop sect. It's okay to have 2 more disciples inexplicably. Why is there another 9th rank pill refining teacher? Luo Qinzu's mentality has completely collapsed at this time. How can she cultivate well? She wants to cultivate, and she wants transcends tribulation to ascend to the upper realm to take revenge. By the way, do any of you know about the golden silkworm star shining stone? At this time, Yifeng threw a heavy bomb again, and the heads of the bombed people hummed instantly. You have the golden silkworm star shining stone. This time, Luo Chenshui, Bai Tianhong, and Sha Yu all looked at Yifeng with fiery eyes and shouted. No, I just asked casually. Looking at the cannibalistic eyes of the 3, Yifeng quickly denied it, but he knew that this golden silkworm star shining stone is definitely much more powerful than the 9-leaf soul returning grass. Ha ha. However, upon hearing Yifeng's answer, the 3 of them looked at Yifeng with a strange look and sneered. They didn't believe Yifeng's words. They dared to guarantee that Yifeng definitely had a golden silkworm star in his hands. Where did my senior brother come from, the god of wealth? Why do you have all the good things? Leng Wufeng, who was silent on the side, looked at Yifeng with shock. At this moment, Luo Chenshui noticed that the sound transmission jade pendant had reacted, and after checking it, she said, return to sect immediately. Miss, what happened? Bai Lao asked with a cold face. It's alright, my father came and said he had something to discuss, but I feel like he's here to inspect my sect. Luo Chenshui said with a wry smile. 5 hours later, 5 people and 1 dog finally returned to the Star Soul sect, and under the illumination of the moonlight, a middle-aged man with a domineering expression stood in front of sect, as if waiting for everyone. Chenshui, you really disappointed your father. Yesterday was the day when your Star Soul sect recruited disciples. What about the sect disciple? Looking at the people slowly falling from the sky, Luo Wuming was very angry. He thought that he would see the lively scene of the Star Soul sect. Who would have thought that after he came, he didn't even see a single figure? How did he make him not angry? Father, these 2 are the disciples recruited by my Star Soul sect. Among them, Yifeng is still my eldest disciple. When Luo Chenshui saw the furious Luo Wuming, she hurriedly explained, but at this time, she was fortunate to have such 2 disciples as shields. In the last life, she had no father and no mother, and she lived a new life. Luo Chenshui cherished her parents who loved her very much. When Luo Wuming heard this, he showed a look of surprise. A direct disciple. He didn't care about anything since he was a child, and only knew about cultivation all day long, but he was a little surprised that he would accept a great disciple. What spiritual roots? What kind of talent does he have? What is his cultivation base? Luo Wuming looked at Luo Chenshui and started 3 consecutive questions. People are right next to you, will you check with divine sense? Although she thought so, Luo Chenshui answered honestly, without spiritual roots, without talent, cultivation base is currently. Before Luo Chenshui could finish speaking, Luo Wuming interrupted directly, stared at him with wide eyes and exclaimed, isn't this a waste person? How did he become your great disciple? 5,000 top-grade spirit stones bought from a direct disciple. At this time, Yifeng stepped forward and explained proudly. What? The eldest disciple who personally passed it down also brought it to buy it. Luo Wuming couldn't believe his own ears. Even if he was an inexperienced sect leader, he wouldn't be so perfunctory if he wanted to accept a direct disciple. Pong. At this moment, Sha Yu stepped down suddenly with spirit power's foot, and a square stone half a meter high broke through the ground. Yifeng, you are tired of standing, hurry up, sit down and take a break. Sha Tianyu personally moved the square stone behind Yifeng and said with a flattering smile. Sha Tianyu, aren't you going too far? Bai Tianong, who was on the side, saw this and scolded himself for being too slow, but he also rudely scolded Sha Shayu. The weather is getting cold, but you can't let Yifeng cool down. In the daytime, Hong placed his right hand on the stone under Yifeng, and directly released his own fire attribute spiritual qi, instantly raising the icy stone to a suitable temperature. Seeing this scene, Luo Wuming's shocked eyes almost didn't pop out. Is this the elder of my Xingji sect? Also, Sha Tianyu, how did this guy appear in my daughter's sect? Inside the great hall of the sect. When Luo Wuming heard a few people talk about Yifeng's situation, Luo Wuming was completely stupid, especially when he saw the little yellow dog lying at Yifeng's feet. He felt that he was not as good as a dog. Juan Qingshan Dan, he has never eaten it, a dog ate more than 2,000. Thinking that the other party also gave his daughter a legendary 9-leaf soul returning grass, his eyes changed when he looked at Yifeng again. Where is this a direct disciple? This is the god of wealth. Not to mention in this star soul sect, even if it is placed in his star extremity sect, then he has to make offerings like an ancestor. Chen Shui, this time I'm here to see your sect situation. Since everything is fine on your side, then I can rest assured. Next, Luo Wuming and Luo Qinzu's father and daughter chatted with each other. Yifeng, Bai Tianong and others also left Great Hall of the sect. Senior brother, I brought you the foot bath water, the temperature is absolutely suitable. After Lang Wufang put the foot basin under the bed, he stood aside and waited. Do you want to soak too? Yifeng looked at Lang Wufang who was standing aside and didn't leave, and couldn't help but laugh. Eldest brother, you can soak me after you finish soaking. Lang Wufang said with a slightly embarrassed smile. Okay, is the eldest brother such a stingy person? Go and bring another foot basin, that 9th grade soul returning grass, we are 2.5. Roof. When Bai Tianhong and Sha Yu found out that Yifeng in the house really broke the 9-leaf household grass in half and put them in the 2-foot basins, their hearts were bleeding. They still hold a glimmer of hope, thinking that Yifeng was pretending before, so how could spiritual herbs be willing to use it to soak their feet? As a result, people really used it to soak their feet. The next morning, Yifeng sat up and stretched, but found that his own spirit was surprisingly good. As expected of the 9th grade spiritual herbs, just using it to soak my feet has changed my soul. Yifeng had to admit at this time that the 9-leaf soul rejuvenation grass was indeed extraordinary. You must know that the medicinal effect absorbed by the footbath was probably less than 1,000th. However, what Yifeng didn't know was that the 9-leaf soul returning grass was far from being comparable to other ordinary 9-grade spiritual herbs, not to mention that the medicinal effect was extremely special. The Prodigal point is currently 2,510, so keep it for now. Today's Prodigal product. Yellow Springs Sword Intent Fragment 10,000. What is the Yellow Springs Sword Intent Fragment? Yifeng was a little puzzled, and when his mind moved, a thumb-sized, all-white shard crystal appeared in his hand. Dog, come here. If you don't understand, then call the dog. The little yellow dog had already given birth to a hint of wisdom, thinking that Yifeng was going to give it something delicious again, and ran over quickly when he heard the shout. This thing just touches the forehead. According to the prompt given by the system, Yifeng took the Yellow Springs Sword Intent fragment in his hand and placed it on the little yellow dog's forehead. Click. An invisible force poured into the little yellow dog's body from the shards. The shard crystals shattered instantly, and then directly vaporized and disappeared into Yifeng's hands. At the same time, a faint sword intent gradually emanated from the little yellow dog's body. Yifeng was stunned, because he felt that the little yellow dog had not changed. The little yellow dog was stunned, and it felt that there was something more in its own dog's soul. System, what if the prodigal product is not consumed in a prodigal way? Although there was no change in little yellow dog, but he was familiar with all kinds of fantasy masterpieces in the previous life, and just by the name, Yifeng knew that this thing was definitely a good thing that could not be found. Ding! A lot of prodigal points will be deducted. Hearing the system's answer, Yifeng couldn't help but swear. It must be known that from the activation of the system to the present, the system has never said a lot of this word. It seems that I can't ask others to help this thing. If it is hidden by them, it will be a big trouble. Thinking of this, Yi Feng walked towards his own house with the dazed little yellow dog by the neck. Great Hall of the Sect. Chen Shui, have you considered letting those two little guys go to Heavenly Dao to practice? Luo Wuming looked at Luo Chenshui and asked. Heavenly Dao battlefield. I really can't guide them. Yi Feng, I'm relieved, it's just cold and no wind. I'm afraid he will have an accident. In 2 days, Luo Chenshui completely recognized these two disciples. Why don't I send a few inner disciples from the peak of the 9th stage of the 9th stage? When they come together, it will be a lot safer. But that Yi Feng, why are you so relieved? Luo Wuming also asked his own question. Although Yi Feng was rich, and he had treasures that were envied by them at this level, he was a waste after all. Even if ordinary people go to the Heavenly Dao battlefield, they will be directly arranged to the 1st stage Heavenly Dao battlefield. The weakest cultivator or demonic beasts there are also the 1st stage of the spiritual sea, and the strongest is the pinnacle of the 9th stage of the spiritual sea. In the face of an ordinary person, it is not to be obliterated at will. Father, because Yi Feng doesn't have spiritual roots, it's impossible to judge his aptitude, but he's not a cripple, and now he has the strength of the 9th stage peak of the aerodynamic realm. Go to the Heavenly Dao battlefield, and that will also be teleported directly to the 2nd stage Heavenly Dao battlefield. Impossible. Hearing this, Luo Wuming shook his head directly. He didn't believe that people without spiritual roots could cultivate. Without spiritual roots, it would be impossible to perceive the spiritual chi of the heavens and the earth, and even if one could obtain the top cultivation technique of insight, it would be impossible to cultivate at all. By the way, not only did he reach the peak of 9th stage without spiritual roots cultivation, but the spiritual sea he created was more than 20 times mine. Seeing that her father didn't believe it, Luo Chenshui didn't care, because at that time she didn't believe what Mr. Bai said, and she didn't realize the reality in the end. This is even more impossible. The spiritual sea you created back then not only broke the history of the Xingji sect, but also alarmed the ancestors. How could such a waste person create a spiritual sea that is more than 20 times bigger than you? Tan. Luo Wuming said at the end. His eyes were full of disbelief, even if he argued so, but looking at the indifferent daughter on the opposite side, he felt that the other party was not joking at all. Boom. At this moment, a skyrocketing sword intent instantly swept the entire sect. Brush, brush, brush. Luo Chenshui, Luo Wuming, Bai Tianong, Sha Shayu, and Leng Wufeng rushed towards sword intent immediately. Yellow Springs Road. Cross the Soul Bridge. The closer you get to the sword intent, the more everyone is caught in the mood of this terrifying Yellow Springs sword intent. Except for Leng Wufeng, the rest of the people relied on their powerful souls to resist the Yellow Springs sword intent, and finally came to the place where the sword intent broke out. Dog, go! Yi Feng threw the wooden plate in his hand to the distance, and then ordered the little yellow dog to run over and bring it back. However, the 4 people who came over were all dumbfounded when they found out that the one who exuded the terrifying Yellow Springs sword intent was actually a dog. A dog actually comprehends the sword intent, and it is an extremely powerful Yellow Springs sword intent that is extremely difficult to comprehend. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, would you believe it? Hey, why are you here? When Yi Feng saw the 4 people who appeared here, he also asked with doubts on his face. Yi Feng, your dog understands sword intent. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Luo Chenshui was the first to respond and asked. How could it be so stupid to understand? I happen to have some Yellow Springs sword intent fragments in my hand, so I used it by the way. Yi Feng explained casually that he didn't know whether people in this world could understand the system product of the Yellow Springs sword intent fragment. What? Yellow Springs sword intent fragment? However, what surprised Yi Feng was that when everyone heard what he said, they all exclaimed together, and their eyes became unfriendly again when they looked at Own. It was a look that penetrates the bone with hatred. Yellow Springs sword intent is an extremely powerful sword intent. Even in Heavenly Dao battlefield, it is not easy to get Yellow Springs sword intent. Yellow Springs sword intent shards for dogs. When Luo Chenshui pointed at Yi Feng and said this, her body trembled uncontrollably. She really didn't expect Yi Feng to have lost her family to such a level of madness. Heavenly Dao battlefield, what's that place? However, When Yifeng heard the Battle of Heavenly Tao, he showed a hint of curiosity. The name is definitely interesting. It's okay to tell you, I was planning to let you go to Heavenly Tao to experience it. The Xuantian continent where we are located is only one of the thousands of lower realms. All lower realms can go to the Heavenly Tao battlefield. According to different strengths, they will enter different Heavenly Tao battlefield areas. No one knows how the Heavenly Tao battlefield appeared, but there are many cultural resources, opportunities, inheritance, treasures, etc. in it. Of course, in addition to facing the threats of other underworld creatures, the powerful local demonic beasts also need to pay attention. If one is not good, it is likely to fall into the Heavenly Tao battlefield. Ding. Post a random mission. Please go to the second stage Heavenly Tao battlefield and kill 100 demonic beasts. If the mission is successful, a lot of loser points will be rewarded. If the mission fails, a lot of loser points will be deducted. You can refuse. Just after Luo Chenshui finished talking about some basic information about the Heavenly Tao battlefield, the system's voice rang out from Yifeng's mind. Shocked. Yifeng was really shocked at this time. The random mission released before was to join the Star Soul sect, and it only rewarded 100 Prodigal points. This time, there is no specific value, but a large amount. The amount is definitely beyond his imagination. However, how to kill 100 of the same realm demonic beasts is a problem, because he now has spirit power, but no martial skill at all. Yifeng, may I ask, how many Yellow Spring Sword Intent fragments did you use for this dog? Luo Wuming couldn't help but ask at this moment. He could sense that the Yellow Spring Sword Intent of this little yellow dog was already very strong. I am afraid it has reached the pinnacle of sword intent, and it is possible to break through to Kenshin at any time, realm. You must know that even the ancestor of the Xingji sect, who has devoted himself to cultivation for hundreds of years, coupled with the countless opportunities he has obtained in the past, has only realized the realm of Jianxin, and the Tianan Jianxin he has realized as far less powerful. The Yellow Springs Kenshin. 10,000 pieces of Yellow Springs sword intent. Hearing Wuming Luo's question, Yifeng temporarily gave up thinking about the dilemma of not having a martial skill at the moment. Anyway, there is no time limit for the task, so he looked at the other party and replied casually. Boom. However, upon hearing Yifeng's words, the four people around finally couldn't hold back the anger in their hearts, and the violent terror swept all around, wantonly brutalizing the surrounding flowers, plants and trees. 10,000 Yellow Springs sword intent shards. That's 10,000 yuan. And even they are jealous of this thing, but it turned out to be given to a dog. Ruthless things. Frenzied. They knew that Yifeng had lost his family, but they never thought that the other party had lost his family to such a level of madness. Fortunately, I didn't ask them for help, otherwise there will definitely be a big accident. Looking at the four people who were completely runaway, Yifeng was extremely fortunate that he had made the right choice. That is, he did not ask them for help, but he worked tirelessly to complete the consumption of today's Prodigal products. Father, hurry up and take him away. I have to slow down, or I'm really afraid that I can't control myself and slap this disciple who only knows how to lose his family to death. Luo Chenshui took a deep breath, tried to calm down her own mentality, and hurriedly asked Luo Wuming to take Yifeng away as soon as possible. When the experience is over, I will send him back to you as soon as possible. I'm afraid I can't bear it. After speaking, Luo Wuming took out the flying sword, and directly took Yifeng with a stunned face to the sky, and disappeared in the sight of several people in a few breaths. Master, where are we going? Yifeng looked at Luo Wuming with doubts and asked. The Star Soul sect is just a sect created by Chenshui to refine her mood. Your real sect is the Xingji sect. Let's rush to Xingjizong now. When the time comes, you will go to the Heavenly Tao battlefield with other brothers and sisters, so that you can take care of it. Luo Wuming explained casually. Master, is our Xingjizong strong? Master, what realm are you? Don't we sect even have demonic beasts to travel? Master, isn't our sect too poor? Do you want me to help? Master, are my brothers in Xingjizong almost running out of food? Listening to Yifeng's chattering words, Luo Wuming finally broke out and shouted, Enough is enough, please shut up, our sect is very rich and powerful. Night falls. Luo Wuming took Yifeng to rest in a nearby town, preparing to continue on the road in the morning. Lying on the bed in the guest room, Yifeng muttered to himself, I don't know what the prodigal product will be tomorrow. It's really not easy to earn this 1,000 prodigal points. Thinking about it, Yifeng also gradually entered the dreamland. Early the next morning, after Yifeng woke up, he immediately checked the personal attributes page. Name, Yifeng. Age, 18. Realm, aerodynamic 9th stage pinnacle. Physique, mortal. Martial skill, none. Supernatural powers, none. Items, none. Prodigal point, 3,510. Today's prodigal product, top grade spirit stones 100000. The prodigal product this time turned out to be top grade spirit stones. Fortunately, there are only 100,000 pieces, so it shouldn't be very troublesome to deal with. Seeing the products of today's prodigal family, Yifeng already had an idea of how to be defeated, which was absolutely simple and rude. System, buy martial skill jars, designate top grade human level martial skills, no matter how many you open, until you open them. Schwantian continent, whether it is cultivation technique or martial skill, is divided into heaven level, earth level, and human level. According to the introduction of the martial skill jar, the 90% rate is designated to open a human level low grade martial skill, and the 80% rate is to open a human level middle grade martial skill, and so on, and the same is true for cultivation technique. For human level top grade martial skill, the probability is as high as 70%, which is equivalent to opening the designated third rank spiritual herbs. Ding! Consuming 100 prodigal points. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the top grade human level martial skill Fire Dragon Fist. With the sound of the system prompt, everything about Fire Dragon Fist also emerged from Yifeng's mind. Fire Dragon Fist requires fire attribute spiritual chi to cast. But I don't have fire spiritual roots, how can there be fire attribute spiritual chi? Yifeng, who was confused, thought, a spiritual chi blessed his right hand, and the fiery spiritual chi instantly completely covered his right hand. Question mark question mark question mark. With a thought, the hot fire spiritual chi instantly turned into water spiritual chi, and the coolness instantly filled the entire right hand. Extremely sharp gold spiritual chi. Incomparably cold ice spiritual chi. Spiritual chi, a wood full of vitality. Thick to pure soil spiritual chi. Blowing wind spiritual chi. Yifeng is constantly transforming the attributes of spiritual chi, and he can hardly believe that he has no spiritual roots, but he can convert the pure spirit power in the spirit sea in the body into spiritual chi of various attributes. Why don't you try Fire Dragon Fist first? I don't understand. Yifeng is too lazy to think about it, but now I really want to try the martial skill Fire Dragon Fist that I just obtained. Yifeng, hurry up and go downstairs for breakfast, and then we have to continue on our way. At this moment, Luo Wuming's voice rang from outside the door. Coming. Yifeng responded and temporarily gave up trying Fire Dragon Fist. After getting dressed, he quickly walked out of the door and walked downstairs. After half an hour, after eating and drinking, Luo Wuming took out the flying sword and took Yifeng to the direction of Xingjizong again. After a while, Luo Wuming suddenly saw several top-grade spirit stones appearing in Yifeng's hands, which made him puzzled, not knowing what the other party was going to do with the top-grade spirit stones. And when Luo Wuming saw that Yifeng threw out all the top-grade spirit stones in his hands, he was dumbfounded. People send welfare at high altitude, windfall wealth. Seeing that Yifeng did not restrain himself, but instead started to throw up continuously, Luo Wuming's mouth couldn't help twitching. Although he was the sect leader of the Promise sect, he was also an 8th stage powerhouse in the Transcends Tribulation realm. He doesn't want to put in one's eyes when he clicks on the top-grade spirit stones, but he can't stand seeing such a prodigal behavior. This is pure loser. Yifeng, although I don't know how many spirit stones and good things you have in your hands, you can't be such a loser. When you have nothing left, it will be too late for you to wake up then, understand? Taking a deep breath, Luo Wuming also resisted his violent temper and persuaded him. Master, do you know what is the most painful thing about Taoist's life? Hearing Luo Wuming's persuasion, Yifeng also asked directly. Everyone has their own life, so the most painful things in this life are different for everyone. A sword idiot who specializes in kendo, I am afraid that the most painful thing is that he cannot comprehend the true meaning of the sword when he is dying. A pill refining master who specializes in alchemy. The most painful thing is that he didn't make a peerless medicine pill that would make him famous for thousands of years before he died. For formation masters who specialize in formation, the most painful thing is that they do not create the strongest formation in their ideals when they are dying. There are too many, even the ones I mentioned are a bit one-sided. Hearing Yi Fang's rhetorical question, Luo Wuming answered extremely seriously. Master, I don't know the situation of others, but the most painful thing for me is definitely that people die, but the money has not been spent. After that, Yi Fang started to throw up the top-grade spirit stones again. Countless top-grade spirit stones were constantly thrown by Yi Fang like a goddess scattered flowers. This prodigal son. Luo Wuming was so angry that he was completely speechless, and he simply ignored it. He wanted to see when Yi Fang was going to throw it. It's approaching evening. Luo Wuming brought Yi Fang to the Xingji sect, and Yi Fang finally threw away 100,000 top-grade spirit stones at this time, feeling that his hands and arms were about to be abolished, and it was extremely sore. This is Xingjizong. After entering sect, Yi Fang felt that Star Soul sect was simply a broken mountain, completely incomparable. Because there are no spiritual roots, Yi Fang has never noticed that the concentration of spiritual qi here is many times stronger than the concentration of spiritual qi in the Star Soul sect. Song Deacon, this son is the direct disciple of the little girl. I brought him back this time, and I plan to go with the Great Master Brothers to the Heavenly Tao battlefield. It will be handed over to you in the next 2 days. Soon, Luo Wuming took Yi Fang to the inner sect, and handed him over to an inner sect deacon. Before leaving, he reminded, Yi Fang, please be safe these 2 days, we will go to Heavenly Tao in 3 days, battlefield. Song Deacon, I'm going to trouble you these days. When Luo Wuming left, Yi Fang also looked humbly at the middle-aged man beside him. Small thing, if you need anything these 2 days, just tell me. Song Chengyan also smiled and said quickly, after all, Yi Fang is Luo Qinzu's direct disciple, and with this status, even he would not dare to offend him. Song Deacon, why is it so lively over there? Yi Fang noticed that there were continuous bursts of exclamations from the martial arts training ground not far away, and asked with great curiosity. Today is the day when outer sect disciples come to discuss with inner discipline. If you are interested, you can also go to occupy a ring and challenge. Song Chengyan explained with a smile. Ding. Post a random task. Ask the host to become the champion and defeat 100 opponents with the same realm. If the task is successful, the reward will be 500 prodigal points. If the mission fails, the 500 prodigal points will be deducted, and you can refuse. At this moment, the system issued a random task again. Now my prodigal points have accumulated to 4,410 points. If I get these 500 points, it will be 5,000 less. When I have enough 9,000 points, I will make another breakthrough. Thinking of this, Yi Fang walked directly to the training ground. Hey, who is that person and isn't wearing the robe of our Xingji sect? He even entered a ring. Is he ready to challenge? Could it be that other sects came to provoke him? As Yi Fang stepped onto an unmanned arena, many of the outer sect disciples started to talk in a low voice after seeing it. I, Yi Fang, the peak of the 9th stage in the Qi realm, the eldest disciple of Master Luo Chenshui, I want to stand here today, and I would like to ask you all to take care of me. Yi Fang stood on the ring and looked at the thousands of outer sect disciples below, and also loudly explained his identity and intentions. Is he a direct disciple of Holy Maiden? What a lucky guy. I've heard that Holy Maiden went out to found sect on his own, but I just don't know how he was picked up by Holy Maiden. If I can become Holy Maiden's direct disciple, I would be willing to lose my life for decades. After learning Yi Fang's identity, many male disciples showed envious expressions. After all, Luo Chenshui is not only a sect Holy Maiden, but also a cold goddess in the hearts of many male disciples. I come. Soon an inner disciple jumped onto the ring and looked at Yi Fang opposite, his eyes full of fighting intent. It's Meng Yang. This guy is said to be extremely terrifying. Less than 3 years after joining sect, cultivation base broke through to the peak of the aerodynamic 9th stage. Yeah, I heard that he came up for cultivation as a prefecture-level middle-grade cultivation technique, and even the martial skill cultivation as a prefecture-level low-grade. I really don't know how he understands it. Now I have a hard time comprehending the human-level high-grade cultivation technique. Quote, there's a good show to watch, but I want to see how this guy named Yifeng can become a direct disciple of Holy Maiden. At this time, the arena was instantly filled with people, and when they saw Meng Yang who was going up, they all started talking in a low voice. It seems that you are quite famous in sect. Hearing the discussions of the people nearby and looking at Meng Yang on the opposite side, Yifeng also said in surprise. It's alright, it's been less than 3 years since I cultivated to the peak of the 9th stage, I wonder how long it took brother Yifeng. Meng Yang was not in a hurry to fight immediately, he enjoyed the feeling of being watched. Me, it took about 10 minutes to go from opening up Linghai to the peak of 9th stage in Linghai realm, and then it took about 20 minutes to go from the peak of 9th stage in Linghai realm to the peak of 9th stage in the Qi realm. Yifeng thought about it for a while, but gave a more accurate time. It should have taken about 30 minutes before and after. Quiet. At this time, even though thousands of outer sect disciples gathered in the martial arts field, it was quiet for 10 seconds as Yifeng's voice fell. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter, is this guy dreaming? Even senior brother Meng Yang took nearly 3 years, and he was done in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, it takes me 30 minutes to go to the toilet with a stomach ache. What's the matter? Everyone is human. When I went to the toilet, you suddenly broke through to the peak of the 9th stage, what about playing? Should I say it or not, brother Yifeng's bullshit is a little too big. Arrogant and arrogant, I really don't know why Holy Maiden accepts him as a direct disciple. After everyone was shocked, they ridiculed a lot. It was really too fierce for Yifeng to make people believe it. Sharp, brother Yifeng, if that's the case, I'm afraid that countless demon-level geniuses in Xuantian continent will have to be stepped on by you. Stop talking nonsense, let's fight. For someone like Yifeng who is arrogant and arrogant, Meng Yang is no longer in the mood to continue chatting with the other party. Shui Yunbu, the subterranean movement technique. Seeing Meng Yang displaying a mysterious movement technique quickly rushing towards Yifeng, the sharp-eyed person below exclaimed instantly. Fire Dragon Fist. Seeing the elegant Meng Yang of movement technique attacking him quickly, Yifeng mobilized the huge spirit power in the ocean of spirit in his body to gather on his right fist. Without any bells and whistles, a punch suddenly slammed. Boom! A huge fire attribute spirit power emerged crazily from Yifeng's body. With Yifeng's punch, a tens of meters long fire dragon instantly condensed and formed, and slammed directly towards Meng Yang who was rushing with a terrifying power. What the hell is this? On the opposite side, Meng Yang saw such a huge fire dragon's startled eyes and almost didn't stare out. Before he could think about it, the snow-white long sword appeared in his hand in an instant, and a fierce sword chi with the blessing of fire spirit power was cut out in an instant. Boom! There was a loud noise when the 3-meter-long flame sword chi and the huge fire dragon collided, and the manic spiritual chi fluctuations swept all around in an instant. Dozens of disciples in the spirit fusion realm released a powerful spirit power barrier, which blocked many inner-outer sect disciples. This wave of spiritual chi shocks. Numerous spiritual sea realm disciples were already trembling with fear, and the terrifying spiritual chi impact just now was simply not something they could resist. Click, click, click. At this time, a strange sound came from the arena, and everyone looked up, only to find that the flame sword chi began to crack, and finally shattered in an instant, and the huge fire dragon blasted towards Meng Yang again with unabated power. Fire Dragon Fist. Fire Dragon Fist. Fire Dragon Fist. However, just when Meng Yang didn't know how to resist the fire dragon condensed by the terrifying spiritual chi, Yifeng on the opposite side shot again. 3 tens of meters long fire dragons reappeared, with the might of dominating the world. They directly blocked all the spaces that Meng Yang could avoid in the ring. Groove. Where the hell did this guy come back from, and how much spiritual chi does the spiritual sea in his body contain? Seeing this scene, Meng Yang scolded secretly and jumped off the ring with unwillingness, but he couldn't calm down for a long time. It is no exaggeration to say that the spirit power consumed by the opponent's fire dragon was more than 10 times his own, but the opponent actually 3 fire dragons are fired again. How much spiritual chi is this? Is this the spiritual chi that people can have? Boom, 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 boom. As Meng Yang jumped off the arena, the 4 fire dragons condensed by the huge fire spirit power all bombarded the arena, and there were huge rumblings. Smoke is everywhere. As a breeze blew, everyone was horrified to find that most of the arena had disappeared. Cool. Is this what fighting feels like? Come on, come with 100 people, I can still throw 100 punches. Yi Feng was domineeringly scanning the thousands of outer sect disciples in the arena at this time, and shouted loudly. There was no way, his mood was completely ignited at this time. This is the bloody fantasy world. Although it is very cool to lose a family, it is absolutely impossible to enjoy the thrill of this kind of battle. All the disciples retreat immediately and leave the battle arena. All outer sect disciples in the 9th stage peak of the aerodynamic realm join together. At this moment, Song Chengyan suddenly flew into the air and shouted to thousands of disciples. Just 3 minutes, a huge space was vacated in the martial arts field, and more than 200 famous disciples of the 9th stage peak gathered together. Even if there was only Yi Feng on the opposite side, everyone's faces were extremely solemn at this time. Crazy, this Yi Feng is going to become famous today. No wonder he was accepted as a direct disciple by Holy Maiden. It's terrifying. How big is the spiritual sea he opened up, and how much spirit power he still has in his body. It's so terrifying, one person is playing against more than 200 opponents with the same realm. If this battle is won, once he grows up, he will definitely have a place on the Qianlong list. Many disciples watching from a distance also held their breaths at this time. The next battle will definitely be a battle that will be unforgettable in a lifetime. All disciples obey the order and release spirit power to condense the spirit power barrier. To everyone's expectations, Song Chengyan issued an order to more than 200 disciples at this time. In this case, even if I have enough spiritual qi in my body, but with a human-level top-grade martial skill, I'm afraid it will be difficult to break the opponent's terrifying spirit power barrier. Thinking of this, Yi Feng checked his remaining 4,410 points, and said in his heart, System, extract the martial skill of the martial skill. Ding. Consuming 700 Prodigal points. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the top-grade martial skill Juyao Lei Lian. Keep pumping, don't mind Spirit Power's martial skill. Ding. Consuming 900 Prodigal points. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the martial skill Water Dragon Roar. Go on, another one, no Water Spirit Power martial skill. Ding. Consuming 700 Prodigal points. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the top-grade martial skill Fengjukuangsha. With the sound of the system, Yi Feng once again looked at the powerful spirit power barrier condensed by several attributes of spirit power, and his eyes were full of infinite fighting intent. Juyao Lei Lian. Without any unnecessary nonsense, Yi Feng shot directly, and the huge thunder-type spirit power was vented from the body, and quickly condensed into a huge thunder lotus flickering in the air. Thunder spirit power. He even has thunder spiritual roots. What level of martial skill is this terrifying thunder lotus? Before everyone was shocked, a tens of meters long, lifelike water dragon appeared in the air as a dragon roar resounded through the heavens and the earth. Water spirit power. Where the hell did he get out of this monster? He actually possesses 3 spiritual roots. What kind of martial skill is this? It's hard for me to resist just the lingering power it radiates. What happened? Wind. Is the wind blowing? As a 10-meter-high hurricane reappeared and swept toward the spirit power barrier, which was condensed by more than 200 people, the water dragon and Lei Lian in the air also slammed into the past. Boom, boom, boom. When the 3 powerful martial skills attacked the spirit power barrier madly, Yi Feng continued to use the 3 types of martial skills, one after another water dragon, one after another, and hurricanes appeared like bamboo shoots, bombarding wildly with terrifying power. On the opposite side of the spirit power barrier. Crazy, silly, shocked. The thousands of outer sect disciples watching in the distance have all been dumbfounded, and the spirit power contained in those terrifying martial skills has far exceeded their understanding. 4 spiritual roots. Moreover, the 3 different attributes martial skill that were cast in the end definitely reached the earth level. The spirit power he owns has reached a terrifying level that no one can guess. At this moment, they once again looked at Yi Feng, who dominated the world in the distance, and felt that the figure of the other party was getting bigger and bigger in their hearts. That would be a mountain that they would never be able to cross. Puff. As time passed, some of the disciples in the spirit power barrier spit out a mouthful of blood because they exhausted the spiritual qi in their bodies, and their expressions retreated. The second. The third, even though the terrifying martial skills continue to disappear, the spirit power barrier condensed by more than 200 top disciples of the 9th stage of the aerodynamic realm has begun to crack. Now, even Song Chengyan, who was standing high in the sky watching all this, was already speechless in shock. Even if Yifeng is Luo Qinzu's direct disciple, but Yifeng was too arrogant before. His original intention was to frustrate the opponent's spirit, who would have thought that it would become the current situation. He never dreamed that the spiritual qi in Yifeng's body was so terrifying, and he even realized 3 top-grade martial skills. Qianlong List Tianzhao, the existence of the top 10. This is Song Chengyan's evaluation of Yifeng at this time. As long as Yifeng can grow up smoothly, he will definitely be on the Qianlong list in the future, and he will definitely be squeezed into the top 10. Pong. Not long after, as the spirit power barrier was completely shattered, the remaining dozens of disciples all collapsed to the ground, their faces pale and weak. Young people are not arrogant. Daddy, just ask who else. Yifeng laughed wildly in the sky, and the remaining spirit power in his body burst out, surrounded by thunder lotuses, water dragons, and hurricanes, invincible and domineering. He still has spare energy. Everyone who saw this scene had only this thought in their hearts at this time. Fight to fame, peerless monster. Yifeng's name and invincible appearance were deeply imprinted in the hearts of all outer sect disciples at this moment. Inside the great hall of the sect, 3 men, 2 women, and 5 young people gathered here, all wondering why the sect leader suddenly called them here. To call you 5 here today, I just want to inform you of one thing. You guys, there will be an additional junior brother soon. However, he currently only has the aerodynamic 9th stage peak in realm, and he will need more care from you in the future. Luo Wuming looked at the 5 people below and said with a smile. Core discipline, sect foundation. These 5 people are all famous enchanting geniuses on the hidden dragon list. When they grow up in the future, they are also the most intimidating force of the Xingji sect. More than one little brother. After the 5 of them heard it, they looked at each other, each with a look of surprise in their eyes. Where is this place? Xingjizong, the top sect in Xuantian continent. If you want to be a sect core discipline, talent, comprehension, spiritual roots, etc., every one of them must be top. Sect leader, can you tell us what's so special about this little junior brother? The eldest Chen Haoyu asked curiously. Rich. Very rich. Very rich. However, after hearing Luo Wuming's answer, all 5 of them were dumbfounded. Is this a plus? If nothing else, even those big rogue cultivators, their personal wealth is not as good as the fur of Xingjizong, so how rich does the other party have to be for sect leader to give such an evaluation? By the way, he also has a special advantage. Hearing this, the 5 immediately stretched their necks, and they felt that something was wrong. What kind of extraordinary is this? There must be real extraordinary. Prodigal. Very loser. Very loser. ... Hearing this, the 5 were completely dumbfounded. Is this something special? At this moment, the 5 of them all looked at Luo Wuming with dazed eyes, as if they were saying, Sect leader, are you kidding us? You don't understand now, but after you have been in contact with him for a while, you will naturally understand. After he goes to the Heavenly Tao battlefield this time, you will follow him to the Star Soul sect founded by Holy Maiden. Don't blame me for not reminding you. When you have nothing to do with your eyesight, you little junior brother's fingernails fall out. Come out and get something, it's enough for you. After Luo Wuming finished speaking, he couldn't help but laugh. He felt that he was simply too smart. These 5 core disciplines followed Yifeng, and he was worried that he wouldn't be able to take off again in the future. Thinking of this, Luo Wuming couldn't help but think of the dog Yifeng raised. You are not even a dog. If any of you get that Yellow Spring sword intent, why don't you just take off? Luo Wuming looked at the bewildered 5 people below, and thought that there was no need to explain, some things can only be understood after real experience. Let's go, I'll take you to meet this little junior brother first. Remember what I said, he is your god of wealth, and in the future, you will be more discerning in the process of getting along. At this time, Luo Wuming still did not forget to remind the 5 people again. 4-line spiritual roots, senior brother Yifeng is extremely terrifying. 3 top-grade martial skills, senior brother Yifeng's comprehension is terrifying. 1 person against more than 200 people, Senior brother Yifeng was just sent by God to attack me. Others are clamoring, even if I lose to me, I have to fight. Brother Yifeng is clamoring, I must shout and cheer. Walking on the road of the inner sect, listening to the discussions of many disciples around, Wu Tianzhao and Luo Wuming were dumbfounded. For some reason, they always felt like they had missed something. Sect leader, are you sure that little junior brother is really nothing special except for being rich and prosperous? Chen Haoyu couldn't help but ask again. I do not know. I knew he was rich and broke. It seems that he did something extraordinary just now, let's hurry up and take a look. Luo Wuming was also interested at this time. He was really curious. After a while, what did Yifeng do to make the entire inner sect's disciples talk about him? However, Wu Tianzhao couldn't believe his own ears when he heard Luo Wuming's words. Is this still their sect leader? Even if you don't know the other party's situation clearly, you just want to give the other party the identity of the sect core discipline. After a while, when a few people came to the devastated martial arts field, all of them were dumbfounded. I remember that today should be the day for the inner outer sect disciples to learn from each other. Looking at this scene, did you change your style this month, to the outer sect disciple in the inner discipline fighting? A young woman in a red dress standing beside Chen Haoyu looked at everything in front of her and said with a dazed expression. Sect leader. At this time, Song Chengyan rushed over and shouted respectfully. Song Deacon, what happened here? Luo Wuming looked at the other party and asked curiously. Fight to fame. Invincible pose. Sect leader, the Yifeng you brought back fought against more than 200 disciples of the same realm sect by himself, and won a great victory. Song Chengyan's expression was also very excited when he said this. When he recalled Yifeng's shouting that he was not arrogant when he was young, he had the urge to be mad once again. Question mark question mark question mark. Hearing Song Chengyan's words, Wu Tianzhao and Luo Wuming couldn't believe their ears. They fought alone against more than 200 other realm disciples, and they still won a big victory. Soon, Song Chengyan explained the detailed situation again. At this moment, Luo Wuming suddenly thought of what Luo Chenshui said to him before, that is, the spiritual sea opened up in Yifeng's body is more than 20 times that of hers, which is equivalent to more than 400 times that of ordinary cultivators. If you look at it this way, Yifeng alone is equivalent to 400 realm cultivators. Thinking of this, Luo Wuming couldn't help but take a deep breath. It's ridiculous that because he didn't believe this, he didn't check the spirit sea in Yifeng's body even after the 2-day journey back. After listening to the 5 days of pride on the side, his eyes were full of shock and disbelief. Can the spiritual qi in a person really reach such a terrifying level? Not only that, the 4 spiritual roots of wind, fire, water, and thunder have also comprehended the 3 top-grade martial skills. Such talent, such comprehension, and proper core discipline. Rich, a loser, it's all pretense. Wu Tianzhao all looked at Luo Wuming with a strange look at this time, thinking in his heart when sect leader became so skinny, is it interesting to play with them? Song Deacon, where is my little junior brother? Anxious. Chen Haoyu was in a hurry at this time, and now he couldn't wait to meet this terrifying little junior brother. He has already returned to his residence, the courtyard of Inner Sect 111, the main peak. Song Chengyan heard Chen Haoyu's question, and directly stated the accommodation for Yifeng. Sect leader, let's go to the younger brother first. After Chen Haoyu told Luo Wuming, he led the other 4 towards the residential courtyard area of the main peak inner sect where he was currently. Sect leader, just now Chen Haoyu called Yifeng his junior brother. Are you going to accept him as the 6th core discipline of sect? When Wu Tianzhao left, Song Chengyan also looked at Luo Wuming and asked. Song Deacon, don't think about informing the 3rd ancestor of Yifeng's situation. He is my daughter's direct disciple, and no one can rob him. Luo Wuming was also a little panicked at this time. He only knew that Yifeng was rich and prodigal, but he really didn't know that he was so fierce. I'm afraid this news will soon be known by the 5 great ancestors. This is not to send out the direct disciple of his precious daughter. Send it. Ha ha. Song Chengyan smiled and said, Sect leader, even if I don't notify the 3rd ancestor, the news has already spread, and those guys may have already gone to the back mountain, and the other 4 ancestors know about it. The 3rd ancestor also knows, it doesn't matter if I don't inform you. It's troublesome. This is the first ever direct disciple that my daughter accepted. It's up to him to decide. Luo Wuming no longer thinks about it at this moment. The 5 great ancestors are determined to come out, and the rest can only see what decision Yi Feng will make in the end. No matter how it changed, Yi Feng was definitely a member of the Xingji sect, but he still didn't want Yi Feng to leave his daughter and worship one of the 5 great ancestors as his teacher. You are, Yi Feng, who just lay down for a while, saw the 5 people who broke into the door, especially when he found that these 5 people were staring at him with a strange look, and they looked at him directly. Little junior brother, I am your senior brother Chen Haoyu. Little junior brother, I am your second senior sister Xia Tian. Little junior brother, I am your third senior brother Zhao Tianming. Little junior brother, I am your fourth senior brother Xing Fei. Little junior brother, I am your fifth senior sister Du Tianyu. ? Yi Feng was stunned when he heard the 5 people reporting their own home. Isn't he the master's direct disciple? Why did you go back to the main sect and come out with these brothers and sisters? Soon, when Chen Haoyu explained the situation of the sect core discipline, Yi Feng understood. It can be said that the 2 identities are not affected. He is not only Luo Qinzu's direct disciple, but also the 6th core discipline of Xingji sect. Naturally, he also has these 5 brothers and sisters of Tianzhao level. System, as a younger brother, it's not too much to give the brothers and sisters some spirit stones when they meet for the first time. Yi Feng was thinking of taking a few days of rest, but the opportunity of a prodigal family was delivered to the door by himself. Naturally, he would not miss such an opportunity. System, my brothers and sisters are all enchanting geniuses of the arrogance level. When we first met, each of them gave 100,000 top-grade spirit stones, meaning, it's not too much. Before the system could answer, Yi Feng spoke again. Ding, the number is within the range of the prodigal family. Done. Yi Feng also came up with a whim. He wanted to try to say some spirit stones in a prodigal event, and then see if the system would give a reminder. Now it seems that not only has the prodigal become a success this time, but also discovered a new ability of the system. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.